Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Power of Love radio show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Power of Love radio show, sponsored by the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation, where we shine a light on loss and grief and how it impacts our lives. We believe that through the power of love that nothing is impossible. I am, with love on your side, of course, I am TJ Jackson. I'm here with two of my brothers. I only have two. They're both right here. Terrell Jackson.
What's up?
Taj Jackson.
What's up?
Such a
He tried to sound just like it, but I'm proud of you, Taj, for leaning in and not talking from a far place.
What?
Yeah, now you're back to a far. But we have a special co-host with us.
So special.
He's very special. He's got a big smile.
So cute. Look at him.
We have Royal Jackson, my firstborn, with us.
What's up, Royal?
Royal, you got to pull your mic closer, son.
It's gonna fall off the table if I do. Why don't I have that? It's easier.
You
I
gotta
don't
work,
know
you
why
gotta
you
work
don't
your
have
way
it.
up.
You got to scoot in. You got to make it work.
Okay.
The firstborn's get
Uncle
these.
Taj doesn't have that either. Gotta
We're
work your
supposed to
way up,
adjust.
okay?
We are live on the Power of Love radio show. If you're listening to us right now, thank you for joining us. We always take feedback, comments, questions, all that good stuff on Twitter. So if you have anything to input, to contribute to the show, please do so at DDJ Foundation. That's DDJ at DDJ Foundation. Royal, when you yawn, make sure you yawn away from the mic.
We just started.
Yeah, it's 1
Wait till
o'clock,
I start
son.
talking, then you can yawn.
Royal's on spring break.
Oh.
So he gets a
Got
bit. So he was up last night playing video games, bro.
No, I was watching Iron Fist.
How is it? That's Netflix.
Yeah,
It's Marvel, right?
yeah.
How do you
Is
like
that
it?
This is pretty good, but it's
What episode are you on?
I think
3.
7. I watched 7 in a row.
It's good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I watched Game of Thrones first. That was like my first actual TV show, so my expectations are kind of high.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got spoiled. You watched a good show first.
yeah, but yeah, so every TV show after Game of Thrones isn't really like that good. It's
Not that good.
It's kind of okay.
Okay. Game of Thrones was a good one.
What
Or is a
season
good
are they
one.
on?
I have no. They lost me.
Game of Thrones.
fell
They're
behind.
They're working on their 7th, right?
I
Game of
don't
Thrones.
know. I think it's.
They just did their 6th.
Did they?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think
they're working on their
7's coming. Well, we'll go straight to enough of the Game of Thrones. We'll go straight to the disclaimer, which we are not licensed therapists. We are just ordinary people who have experienced loss and grief, and we like to share our experiences and our input to help you, whoever's out there struggling, overcome, navigate. That's the right word. Navigate through their loss and grief. And there's so many different things you can do, so many different ways to learn, I really believe every show I'm getting more and more educated on this topic. So, and I don't think up to this point we've had a repeat topic or repeat subject, and it just goes to show you how much out there you can do as a person to better be able to, navigate through that loss and overcome that grief. What do we have? Todd, you want to talk about our handles?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Twitter is at DDJ Foundation.
Well,
Facebook is is DEE Jackson Foundation. Instagram is at DEE Jackson Foundation, and the website is www.ddjf.org.
cool. So what we like to do is start off on the week, see what we've missed in each other's life, see if there's anything worth reporting. Terrell, I'm going to start with you. Anything that happened in your past week?
I mean, baseball, music.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was Mom's birthday, and I guess the fans call it 3T weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So thank everybody for their messages and their support. But yeah, that was pretty much it for us.
Yeah. Taj Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I don't know what it is, but like around Mom's birthday and when Mom passed, like like I get not weird, but like it's like not moody. You know what I mean? Like you kind of. Do you
Like
guys get that?
You get in a funk.
Yeah, there's like a certain cloud funk that you get in. And then I realize, now I know, but before it was like I realized that it's like, oh, it's, you know, it's around that time. It always happens. And so like I kind of retreated, you know, into my, well, I don't go out much anyway, but it was just chilling at home and getting out of that funk.
So you chilled at home to get out your funk.
Yeah, I don't like to give it to other people. You know, I could go out there and just be like moody, but I'd rather just be at home.
And do you go out there?
What?
Just go out, get out.
I'm starting to.
Good.
Leave him alone. He's been really good.
I have been good.
He's trying to set you up, Taj. I got your back.
You see what the younger brother watch this roll out. These are TJ's tricks.
I mean, you're past
He's
40
leading me to the
and you're starting
to the ledge.
I'm
is
proud
what
of you.
He's been really good.
How's
He's
he?
getting his steps in. Yeah, he's good.
You know, I got to commend both of you guys on your steps. It's been almost 2 months.
No, it's been since January 1st for me.
For me, it was February.
But you guys
7th?
both have your watches, and I got to say, when our paths do cross, and it's late in the evening, I see you guys trying to maintain and accomplish this goal.
Yes.
Of a certain amount of steps. I guess that's what Fitbit is. And I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thank you.
We do
Set goals.
at least 11,000.
That's good.
It's good enough.
That's great.
I think you're supposed to do 10.
Okay.
Well, not
But
supposed to, but like they say,
for you.
I think 10 is maybe like 5 miles or something like that, Taj.
Okay.
But we do 11,
Sweet.
at least.
Roy-
Something like that, Royal. I don't know. Royal's trying to do the math.
Royal, how many steps are you doing now?
Is this a break?
Yes.
Royal's probably not doing any.
It's probably like 32 to my car and 32 back to my room, so I'll be generous and give myself like 70 a day.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
What was your week like, son?
My week?
Yeah, what was your week like?
It was actually very boring. I'm starting to get bored of video games. That's why I watched Iron Fist.
Okay.
So,
Are they not a challenge to you anymore, or what is it?
yeah, it's just they're all very. That's actually what it is. I didn't know what it was,
Well,
but
yeah.
it's they're all very easy.
You need to
Roy-
play Overwatch.
Royal is a really, really good video game player. I don't know, is that what they're
Yeah.
called now?
Gamer.
He's a very
Yeah, it's a gamer.
expertise
Players,
gamer.
like, yeah.
He actually makes a little bit of a living off of it.
Well, aren't you ranked like in sniping or something?
Battlefield Hardline and Battlefield 4. I was top 200 in the world for sniping.
At what age?
Love it.
Battlefield 4 came out in 2014, I think.
So we're talking when you were 14, 13, 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, Royal has a great skill in video games and actually sniping. But I don't know if, that's really something that me as a father can really brag about.
They don't really, emphasize the award. Like, when I hit it, it just said a little banner, like, top 200, and then it went away. I was like, oh.
Okay.
That's good.
Well, Royal's really good.
If you're going to do something, you might as well try to be the best at it. Right?
He's actually been banned, right, Royal? You get banned and kicked out?
I got banned.
Some of your videos they do look fake.
If I was
They look
playing
like
against you,
you're
I'd be
cheating.
very upset. I'd think
What
you're cheating.
videos?
Some of your videos you show me where you're getting
Like your
6
highlight clips.
shots.
Oh, those are even the cool ones, though. You
And-
guys got to see the stuff you don't see.
I would be so upset
No,
if I was playing
it's
against
great
you.
because there's like 6 other people in the lobby, I think, in free for all, and it'll just be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they'll respawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's just like they don't get a chance.
No.
Well, Royal loves this stuff, but we got to get back on to topic. And real quick, I'll talk about my week. I know Royal and I actually built we built a couple of beds for Dee Dee and Joe.
Bunk beds.
Bunk beds. Well, they're not bunk beds. I labeled them as bunk beds, but they're
well, then
basically
what do you
with a
want from
stair.
2-story
And-
beds.
Yeah, I said they were bunk beds, but they're not bunk beds. They're like 2-story beds, but they're really, they could be bunk beds.
2-story beds.
You put a ladder and then the bed's up top, but you could flip the bed to make the bed on the bottom.
Wait, so you put a ladder.
That was just
and
too
the bed is on
confusing.
top, so they're not like underneath each other exactly?
No,
It's like a high bed with the ladder to get to it, like the legs.
but
of
there's
the
no
are
bed
high.
on the bottom. It's like a secret passage, like a play area on the
So
bottom.
how many beds are we talking?
Well, we built 2, so it's 2 beds.
Okay, so where's one bed's up top with the ladder? Where's
That's
the
it.
second bed?
That's it.
You
the second bed?
you can put a
You
bed.
could put a
underneath.
mattress
Okay.
underneath, so it could be bunk beds, but It's not really bunk beds, but we built them together. It was fun.
Who's we?
Me, Royal. No, Royal, myself, and Royal's friend Caleb. So we built them.
I didn't see any pictures of you going to work
because I'm taking the pictures. But
Royal,
it was a
who
good
built them,
experience.
Royal?
It was mostly me and Caleb.
Stop it. I
believe that.
I had to call
He was
this guy in.
overseeing. I know what he was doing.
I had to call this
He's
guy in
checking
to
He would come
stay on
upstairs, put a
focus.
nail or two in, and then leave.
I'd catch him in the bathroom on his phone in the corner, acting like he was using the restroom. Like, get your butt in here, bro.
I was.
But yeah, that's what.
So you finished it.
We finished.
All
We
right.
finished. It took a couple days. It took about 6 hours. We needed a break. They needed a break, so I gave them a break. But we did that, and then on top of that, we I agree with you guys. It was Mom's Day was a tough one. But one thing I want to say, which you said, Terrell, earlier, was thank you to all the fans who've showed our support, and over all these years who have tweeted something or responded to something or mentioned or with pictures or created something. It's so appreciated by all of us, and we don't really get to thank you like we can or would want to. We can't retweet everything, but we see 98% of it and want to thank you all for your continued support. That's coming from all three of us.
Yes.
All right, so what we were deciding on talking about today, when we come in here, I think we've mentioned it, we come in with some ideas, and we had a couple ideas, but one of the ideas we tweeted out was if you had any ideas that you wanted us to discuss. And one of the topics that was recommended was one we are actually going to do. And when we decided to do it, Taj looked through the Twitter feed and saw that Toria from France actually suggested the same exact thing. And that's basically
all right.
overcoming fear and having confidence. What does that mean to you, Taj, overcoming fear and having confidence?
To me, overcoming fear is... I think fear can be paralyzing.
Paralyzing how?
Because if you're scared to do something, then you end up usually not doing it. You end up giving up on it. And I think that's how you could be paralyzing, because you don't grow from that. And it stops you from doing stuff. I think everyone in life can look at something and say, with regret, and say, I should have just done it, or I should have just tried it. And I tried to live without any regrets, but even so, I can look back and see that there's certain things that I was just either scared to do, or that I psyched myself into thinking that I couldn't do. So,
Terrell?
It's interesting. I think with a lot of it is stuff that we put in our minds. You know, you create a lot of fear.
Do we put it, or does society put it? Or
I think a little bit of both. I think it goes into what we're going to discuss, confidence, because sometimes you see a situation and you feel like maybe if you were put in that situation, you wouldn't succeed. So then you put added pressure and you get nervous, and then you can't perform the way you would perform. And then, it might even lead to you not even trying. And then, it's hard to overcome. And then sometimes when you do try, you realize, and you come through the other side and realize it wasn't that bad. So a lot of it is mental, but it's understandable. We all have our fears. We're all striving to get better.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things in life that we all deal with.
Yeah, I agree with you. And we're going to open up the phone line. So if anybody out there wants to tell us a story about a fear you're going through, or you having to overcome a fear.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let's go around the table on this.
Yeah.
What is your biggest fear? Like, is there something you're really scared of?
I mean,
or that you fear?
Besides me.
Never touch. Is there something I'm scared of? Does anyone?
And if there's a reason.
Not really. You know what's crazy, Terrell? I used to have more fears, but I've learned as you get older, I think you fear less and start understanding that fear is something you got to overcome, in a sense. That fear is something that's, I don't want to say it's mental, but it's something that's overcomeable as you age. And when Mom passed, I lost a lot of fear for a lot of stuff. Like I lost, and I have to be careful how I explain this, because I don't want it to think like I lost
like you
care.
Yeah.
But I lost fear.
Okay.
And one of them, and this is, again, this is an adult show, so I could say it. But one of them, I used to be afraid to die. Mm-hmm. And then when Mom passes, like, if I die, I die. You know what I mean? And that's probably not the best way to say it, but that's just the honest truth. That was how my mentality was. As I get older, now that I have kids and a family, that's obviously not my opinion. Mm-hmm. But that's a legitimate, genuine opinion I had when I lost Mom. As far as fear, now, I don't know. I don't know if I really have any.
I think some things can be learned.
Yeah.
Some fears.
Yeah.
Some, I don't know where they come from. But for me, snakes.
Yeah.
I don't like snakes. I'm so scared of snakes. And I think it has something to do with muscles.
Yeah.
Going that far back. That's one. Number two, I don't like being in a huge crowd in the middle of it.
See, that doesn't bother me.
But I know where it stems from. For me, it stems from, there was when the uncles got their Hollywood star, there was a big riot, and I remember everything was crazy and people were pushing, so that was one. And then the second time was at
you got to clarify
Anaheim.
riot.
Huh?
You got to clarify riot. It was more like it got out of control.
It got out of control.
But because everyone was
Out of
excited
love and pushing. And
riot today means something different.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't one of those.
Yeah, people were excited and
they're excited. They started pushing, and I think I was like maybe 5 or 6, and I was in the middle of it, and I just remember people screaming and everything was rushing. And then the other time was at Madonna's concert. Taj, do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
At Anaheim Stadium?
There was a riot.
We were in the
fight,
fourth row.
Right?
No, we were in the fourth row, and she called everybody on stage.
I actually remember that.
She said everyone come up to the front.
I do remember
Great.
that.
She called everyone up to the front and said, "Don't mind security."
I remember
and people
that.
started pushing. People started pushing and forcing their way towards the front. So we were trapped in that situation when we got out of there, and it was just crazy.
I remember that, but that didn't like scare me in life.
I just don't. I don't like that situation.
You remember it. So
No,
it did something to you.
I remember it.
You don't remember anything.
I remember.
So obviously, it was something.
I'm gonna tell you why I remember it, because I remember how mad Mom was that she would do such a thing like that.
Yeah.
When there's kids in the audience, that's when I remember. I don't remember the fear, like, oh no, is this, But it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that. So I don't like being like, and I notice every time I'm arriving somewhere, I always find an out.
An exit?
Yep. I'm always like looking for my out strategy.
You need to be a security guard or something, man.
Well,
Royal, how about you, man? You got any fears? You're a fresh, young 17-year-old who's had a pretty cool life. What's your fear?
I don't know. I guess
Talking to the mic,
I
please.
guess after my life after college, I don't know. That's kind of what I think about every day.
Good. That's a good thing. You're thinking about that.
So you kind of don't know what you want to do, or
Yeah, because what I want to do is like you can work one place with it. Because I want to be an astronomer, and
he likes astronomy. So ideally, he'd want to go into and be an astronomer, right?
Yeah.
But his only place of employment would be NASA, right?
Yeah, or school. I don't want.
But I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I'm sure when you start school, I mean, that's 4 years away from when you actually have to decide that. So I don't think you should marry to any idea. But if your love for it continues, obviously keep focused. And you got to do what you love. I always tell you that. Just do what you love, and although that wouldn't be my choice, it's not my life.
Yeah, well, that's a fortunate thing to know what you want to do, or what interests you. 'Cause a lot of kids.
It's not really a
his
fear.
age-
I don't really have fears. I have more like curiosities.
Okay.
Like I don't really fear death. I just wonder what happens after it. That's the type of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that's normal for your age.
For everybody.
For
I don't like
everyone.
mosquitoes though.
Mosquitoes.
About
I hate
snakes.
mosquitoes.
I was walking Saba to her car a couple days ago because she had to leave, and I stepped on like something weird, and I saw it like slither away,
see, no, I don't
and I
like that.
didn't even like jump her. I was like, Saba, watch out. But like mosquitoes take me like 30 minutes to deal with because they're so weird.
And I think also for me, it was also dogs. But I think it has something to do with Tosh when he was little.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
We're talking fears, and we're talking about confidence, overcoming fears. Phone number. I didn't give this out before. So phone number if you want to contribute is 323-203-0815. 323-203-0815.
Can I say a quote from the great Jessica Alba?
Yes, please. Why are you laughing, Roy?
Yeah, why did you laugh about that?
The great Jessica Alba? Is that why, bro?
Yeah,
Isn't she in Fantastic Four?
That's how you know
Love it.
Jessica
That's how
Alba?
it does it.
That's
Not
not
by
a movie.
the entrepreneur Jessica Alba?
Yeah,
No.
you're right, Taj.
My theory is if you look confident, you can pull off anything, even if you have no clue what you're doing. And the reason I like that quote is because there's been many times where I didn't know what I was. No, I don't say I didn't know what I was doing, but I wasn't. But that I wasn't confident, but I pretended to be confident, and it gets you there.
It gets you going.
It gets you going.
It gets it started.
And then by pretending, people start accepting it, and then you do become confident from it.
Is that like fake it till you make it?
It's exactly fake it till you make it. That's the other quote.
Nice.
Fake it till you
Nice.
make
Fake it till you make it. And they teach you that in whether you're directing or photography as well, because when you're on set, if you're scared, everyone senses that. But if you go in like right away.
Yeah. No, that's a good
We have
point. Yeah, so we've taken a phone call. Who do we have on the line with us?
This is Alicia.
What's up, Alicia? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Doing great.
I'm calling on the topic of fear.
Yes.
I think, well, I kind of know that I have a fear of being published. I've been writing for a very long time, and I actually went to college for writing, and initially that was my plan, to go into journalism or creative writing. And after I got out of school, I was going to go to a 6-week program at NYU, which was like a quick program to get your master's. And I had some support. I was in a program at the time for job placement and everything, but I was I didn't have the support at home, and so I got talked out of it. And ever since then, I've kept writing, but I haven't really been, pursuing actually getting published.
Okay.
So
here's my thing, Alicia, especially today, because I'm actually been writing a lot too recently and looking at different publishing options. Do I want to go traditional route? Do I want to self-publish? And correct me if I'm wrong, because I assume you've looked into this. It's really easy to publish a book now, right?
yeah, it is.
Okay. How old are you? Do you mind, or just give us a general...
I don't know. It's okay. I'm 38.
Okay, so you're my age, right?
Yeah.
Is that what I heard? Right? Yeah. So, no, I didn't.
We all
I'm
heard
good.
38.
Alicia, so you know, they're looking at me like, does this guy not know his age? I wasn't questioning my age. I was questioning what you said. If you said 30 or 38, but they didn't get it. But anyway, my advice, Alicia, you're in the same boat I am. We're not getting younger. Before you know it, we're going to be old men our old people like Taj and Terrell. So we have to just go for it. And my opinion is you got to take that first step and publish something. You got to, even if it's a 10-page book or even a blog, you just got to get it going. Because I think I remember from a previous call that you made is that this is something you've always wanted to do. And you do not want to be 65 years old.
No regrets.
Regretting
you don't
what could have been or why didn't I.
Even though you can do it at 65, that's not what we're saying. We're just saying that you should do it now.
Do it now. Do it now. And you're going to learn from it. You're going to feel some type of satisfaction. You're going to, you may change someone's life. You don't even know. Someone may be going through something and somehow, past your story or your book or whatever it is you're going to write about, and it could really make an impact on their life. But you just got to do it.
So the question is have you not done it because maybe you're afraid of the response, or is it just something you put on hold?
I'm not sure. I think, just to put it out. don't know, TJ, to be honest. I have, looked into the different avenues that you were talking about, like blogging and self-publishing. And I've been in the writing group since I graduated in 2005. So it's, I do have like the weekly support or whatever, constant support. So it's just a matter of, like you said, just going ahead and doing it. So I think it's just courage that I need to do it.
I have two words of wisdom for you.
Only two?
Well, they're important ones. The first one is now that there's the internet, there really is a market for everything, and I think that's something that you should realize when you're publishing. If you're worried about someone might not like it or whatever, there's a market for everything, and someone is going to really enjoy it, And I think so. Just put it out there, and the second one is basically from everything I've studied, from filmmakers to writers to poets they always say start now, because your first idea usually isn't your best one. They say keep doing it and you'll get better at it. So just if you're holding on to that one idea, you're not growing. And so your masterpiece might be the second one, or it might be the third one, but seldom is it the first one, of someone's thing. So just get it out there now and keep working.
And I'm going to add even something more important.
Really?
Well, I'm going to add even something more important.
Let's see if it's more important. Let's
okay, and I'm actually going to tie it to the show.
Yeah.
The Power of Love and what our foundation is. My theory is if you get it out there, you're going to feel so much more fulfilled in life. You're going to feel so much better about yourself just by doing it, that when something happens in life, you're going to be a stronger person. You're going to be I don't want to say more stable, because then it makes it sound like you're not stable, but you're going to feel some inner strength because you're doing something. It's kind of like, I think what you said, Taj, I don't know if it's off or on air, where you said the first couple of steps are just the ones that are needed to get going. And they could be mini steps, but just that the succeeding, even something incredibly small, writing the first page, that little success, and then when you keep getting success, you feel good about yourself. And I can't see how publishing something will make you feel less of a person or not feel good. And that is key to being able to have a great life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, Alicia, please publish something. And then when you publish it, make sure you tweet us so that we can retweet. That sounded weird. So we can retweet and support you. Okay, because like Taj said, whatever you write, there's a market for it out there. And we want everyone to succeed, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Alicia, for the phone call.
Take care.
Thanks.
I don't want to say it breaks my heart, but I feel, because I can kind of relate to that. I don't want to say it's fear, but it's like, and another thing is, for some, life just gets in the way. When you have a lot of responsibility, but there's something to be said for you when you can get things done and it really fulfills you. That was my point. What's up, Terrell?
No, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
We're going to take another phone call. Who do we have on the line?
This is Tiffany.
What's going on,
again?
Tiffany? How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are y'all?
We are good. What you got for us relating to fear or confidence?
Yes, I wanted to talk about how I kind of conquered a fear of mine.
Yes, love it.
Okay, I know I've mentioned in past broadcasts that I am a dialysis patient. I've been on dialysis. This is going on 8 years. And what really got to me about dialysis is that it's done through needles. Every time I go into dialysis, I went to dialysis yesterday, I go tomorrow. And for my treatment, I have to be stuck with two 15-gauge needles, which is a very large, not pleasant needle. I say it's like the little ink thing inside of a big pen. It's very large.
Wow.
And, there are always times where if the nurse is not as, I guess you could say...
Talented?
I'm sorry.
Careful,
I'm sorry,
or
what?
talented?
Talented, yeah.
If the nurse
talented,
isn't
that's the
skilled.
word. If they're not as talented, it will do what's called an infiltration, which means that the needle would actually go through the vein, and, it would bleed out, it would swell, it would bruise, it would hurt like I don't know what. And, that happened like my first time out when I was 22. I'm 30 now. And, it was the most horrific feeling because not only did the needle go through my arm, it was doing it while the machine was circulating. And it's like sucking. So when it goes through, it just pulls everything along with the blood. And it's just, I'm sure people in the next county heard me scream.
Oh.
And it was just awful. I mean, I'm glad my father was there. My father heard me scream, and he beat down the door and ran back to the treatment floor. But it was a very, very long process for me to get to where I was. I guess I can't really say comfortable because it's still a foreign object being put into your arm.
Right.
But to where I know, okay, this is what I have to do in order to live. So, this is what I have to do. And it's funny because. I was so scared. At one point, I was bringing a baby doll with me. I was so scared.
In your 20s with the baby doll?
In my 20s, I was bringing the doll with me. I still have the doll. I'm looking at the doll.
Tiffany, let me ask you, has it gotten easier?
Yes, it's gotten very much easier.
Okay,
good. Now, with some of the newer patients, even if they're older than me, I've seen people in their 60s come in and start crying because they're scared. And, if I'm not attached to the machine, I'll walk over there, I'll hold their hand, I'll tell them it's going to be okay. And, I just try to put them at ease because, I didn't really have anybody to put me at ease. And I know that, it's a very scary situation, life or death, anything can happen. Just a kind word or a gentle gesture can go so far for somebody.
Well,
and I try to do that.
No, that's so cool. And you just reminded me that's probably my biggest fear. Is not biggest fear, but that's a legitimate fear of mine is needles. I do not like.
Well, I'll hold your hand and tell you it's all right.
I actually had to get blood taken yesterday, and I was not cool. So I completely have all the respect for you, Tiffany, and I'm praying and hoping everything works out fine for you. 8 years is a long time to be going through it.
Yeah.
Stay strong, and you're an inspiration to at least me. I'll tell you that because I just
make me cry. Really?
I'm serious. I had to go through it yesterday, and when you don't go through it a lot, you forget about it. And then when you know what I mean, I had to get needles a shot yesterday, and they took a lot of blood, and it was not fun. So,
is there a difference between getting a shot and drawing blood? To me, it's the same thing.
Well, you're saying the pain?
It's the same thing. If things poking you, right?
Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, the shots that is like one time.
It's both not for me, not good. But
a shot's injection.
Yeah.
Blood's ejection.
No, I know the difference, but I'm talking.
He's talking about fear and pain.
But it's the same thing.
It's the same. I think so.
Yeah, it's
for me.
Ranges.
For me, it is.
Yeah.
But Tiffany, back to you again.
Yeah.
We're here with you. Thank you for sharing your story. Stay strong and please keep us posted. And like I said, stay strong because whoever's else in that room with you or whoever's next, they're looking at you for some sign or for some type of, in a way, guide. You can help people. It's just like you said you would help that 60-year-old who's going through it the first time. That's a blessing.
Yeah, I don't mind helping. And, if I can make anybody happy, that's more power to me. That makes me feel good. So.
Cool.
Yeah, and thank you for your support. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. And keep us posted, Tiffany, okay? And we're thinking of you.
Okay, I will. Thank you, guys.
All right, take care of yourself. Yeah, that's a strong woman to me.
Yeah.
That's strong. It's tough. She went yesterday and 2 days in a row. That's crazy. We're with you, Tiffany. Stay strong. It's an inspiration. Shoot. Taj.
Yes.
We have any good quotes?
We have one from Henry Ford. I don't know who that is. No, I'm just kidding. I do know. Henry Ford said...
who is Henry Ford? Royal?
He made the first automobile, and I don't know if it was the world or America, but definitely America.
Okay, so he's... I don't even know if... Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I wonder if...
the first combustion engine, sorry.
Not the first automobile, right?
I don't... because
he's known for the assembly line
there were steam
and Ford
engines before,
car.
but he made the combustion engine.
Okay, back to the quote. Sorry, Taj.
Let's see if it's going to be my favorite quote.
It's whether you think... Yeah.
Oh, no, it's my favorite quote. Go
Please
ahead.
do not interrupt me next
This is
time.
my quote. That's what I was going to read, but go ahead.
Go ahead, you read it then, because I have another quote. Read it.
I'm not reading it, but I know if I read it.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right.
Yeah.
So
That's a quote like I remember from way back in the day.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
And that's a huge one. Todd, do you want to read it one more time? And say it with some confidence this time?
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Either way, you're right, basically. So if you think you can't do something, your mind's going to say you can't do it, and you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And if you think you can do something and you're confident, you're going to do it.
I love it. So we have about 15 more minutes and on this show, and this show is all about overcoming fears, self-confidence, and how to succeed. And to me, it ties into our foundation by basically saying, in my opinion, the more you succeed, the more... Taj, give me another word besides stable. I don't want to say stable. But the more you succeed, the more strong, the more...
What are you saying, comfortable?
Confident?
No.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying the more... I'm just going to say stable so you guys could figure it out. But the more you succeed, even if it's small accomplishments, the more stable you feel. The more purpose you feel, you just feel more strength. So it's foundation. So it's a very important topic in how to overcome grief. It all ties in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't think of it as it can't help you in grief or dealing with loss. Because if you're a strong person, it helps.
Right.
You know. Okay, so I'm going to give you my favorite quote. We are all supposed to come up with our favorite quote. Taj and Terrell have the same one, but Taj said he's going to find a second one. So we have Terrell's. TJ's is one important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. And I'm happy to say that because we haven't really talked about the importance of just being prepared, which is an important component of having self-confidence. And obviously, like we've been saying, important components of success is self-confidence. So it starts with preparation. So no matter what it is you want to do, no matter it is what you're dealing with, try to learn about it, try to be prepared for it so that you can have that self-confidence to overcome and achieve it.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
When we're talking about faking it until you make it.
Yeah.
That means, what was it, Jessica Alba's quote?
Yeah.
Even if you don't, I forget what the quote was, but that doesn't mean come unprepared.
Right. Doesn't mean just show up.
Yeah, you don't show up and fake it.
Yeah.
You gotta prepare and you gotta plan for whatever it is you're doing, and then go for it.
Yeah.
There's been now that we're talking about another situation came up. One fear that I had or something I was really concerned about, and I remember all the way up to the event that it happened was Louis' wedding. I was his best man.
Yeah.
And I had to do the speech, and the whole time I just was really. I was stressing out about it. I was really, I didn't want to get up and get in front of everybody. I didn't know how I was going to do. It was Louis' wedding. It was just everybody I knew was there. Some people I didn't know. I was talking. It was just me and in front of all these people. And I had to speak, which I don't feel comfortable speaking in front of a lot of people in the first place. But I was so concerned about that speech.
But it was
even while the whole thing was the wedding, the ceremony, even while all that was going on, all I could think about is the speech, and I was just dreading it the whole time.
But you killed it. You did good.
Thank you.
You did. It was a great speech.
Yeah, and then it goes back to one of those things where you build it up in your own head, and then once you do it, it's like, oh, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, we have another phone call. Who do we have on the line?
Meredith.
Hi. How are you, Meredith?
I'm fine. I was calling about you guys' topic about fears. Well, first of all, while I was calling you guys, I got a message that I was already scared about. I was actually trying to get into grad school, and my fear actually is trying because I always feel like I'm going to get a negative response or it's not going to work out. Well, while I was waiting on you guys, I actually get the email from the head professor there letting me know to go ahead and send in all my information, so I'm so happy about that.
Yes.
So couldn't really
Congratulations.
That happened while I was on the phone. I'm so excited. But anyway, the real reason with the fear Carol, you had me laughing when you said snakes, and Royal when you said you stepped on one, because the same reaction, Carol, that sound he made was the same sound I made at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I cannot stand snakes, and they just scare me to death.
You can't do them, huh?
No.
No, but I like this topic because right before I called you, before the show started, that was my thing, is having the confidence to try things. And like I just told you about the grad school thing, I'm scared about any time trying, because I always figure a negative response, something negative is going to happen, or if it's good, something bad is going to happen later. And that's the way I was feeling when Royal brought up about college. My daughter applied to 3 colleges, and I was so excited. Well, all 3 of them rejected her, and I'm like, okay, how could they reject you? And you have a good grade point average. You're graduating a year early. Yeah. So I felt that I may be discouraging her from trying again, but we got ourselves together and said we're going to try, and so now she has an ultimate plan. So Royal, she can understand about what's happening after college. I think you and her are the same age, because she's 16, be 17. But, yeah, I just wanted to say I enjoy the show like I usually say when I call. I guess I'm so sidetracked now because of that.
No, it's all good, man. And
I'm sorry.
You know how we've said in the past, loss and losing is part of it. And it's important, but it's not easy to do, is to learn how to be confident through it, and if things don't work out your way, they don't work out your way. It wasn't meant to be, and for your daughter, in my opinion, it could be a blessing, it could work out perfectly, and I think you just got to remain positive, see the benefits of the decision, and move on, and keep on chopping. It's huge. It's very important. True.
Well, that's what we plan to do, so we're trying to get everything there. Actually, we're moving out there, so we're excited about that. So I used to live there years ago in the 90s. Okay. Actually, I was there, and this is going to sound crazy, I was there early March. I think it was early March or end of February, but I was there. And guess who I see on the side of me?
Who?
Carol.
Where?
He's probably going to think, you remember the crazy lady that got in front of her daughter and rolled the window down and said, hey, she want to take a picture of you. Because they had never seen the celebrity. I'm not going to lie. I wanted the picture too, but I didn't want to look like
I remember you. In the car, right?
Yeah, I was in a black car.
Oh, okay. I remember that. That was right after the show, wasn't it?
I don't know. I was over there because, like I said, I used to live over there. We were looking at Nolan High School, the private school over there, which I guess is only a high school. I thought it was a full grade school because I have an 8-year-old. But I was also over that mall that's over there too.
Yeah, we were just leaving the show.
So it was around here.
Oh,
yeah, it was right there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But they were excited because they had never seen a famous person before. So
that is so cool, Meredith. That is so cool. Well,
yeah.
I love your vibe, and your kids are lucky they have you. You got a great vibe, and just keep attacking life like I know you know how to, and congratulations on that grad school. That's a great role model for your kids. So congratulations.
Well, you guys stay positive and have a great show.
We will. Take care, Meredith.
That's great.
Wasn't it? Mm-hmm. It's cool, man. All 3 calls were great.
It was about a month ago.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember.
If someone's gonna remember, it's you, Terrell.
I was just leaving here, getting on the freeway.
That is cool. Royal Jackson.
Yeah. You
with us?
Yeah.
You had a late night?
Stay awake, Royal.
Watching what? Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your quote, son? It's your time to contribute to the show.
What?
Your quote. Your quote about confidence or overcoming fear. I want to hear it, and I want to hear who it's from.
Okay.
You gotta step into the mic like you mean it.
I gotta find.
While he's doing that, I will.
Okay.
Oh, you got it? Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
Your turn, son. Let's hear it.
I was trying to cover.
I chose this quote because I felt it was like the only true one. All the other ones were kind of cliche. You are the only person on earth who can use your ability, and that's Zig Ziglar.
Yeah. Inspirational speaker.
I don't know.
So you are the only person
on earth who can use your ability.
Because it's your ability.
Yeah.
So everyone's different. So you got to take pride in the fact that you're unique.
Yeah.
That's basically what the quote is, right? Cool, man.
I like that, bro.
I do like that.
I like it too.
J. Cole also says...
J. Cole. Here we go. Let's go. It's the youth in the show. Let's see what J. Cole's got for us.
Fake it.
I love J. Cole. What is J. Cole?
He actually says, make it, then fake it.
Make it, then fake it. What does that mean?
Well, I can look.
No, I want to. What do you interpret from that? What does that mean? You make it. Well, you succeed.
In the context of his song, he's saying all these rappers are faking it until they make it. Like they're
acting one way.
They're showing off their money and stuff. But he made it first, and then he kind of sort of like faked it. Like I don't. Like I haven't like really made it.
Oh, okay. So he's downplaying it.
Yeah. So I like.
Interesting.
Everyone knows he's made it, but he's not. He's
staying down to earth.
Yeah, he's not showing.
I like that.
Okay.
See, I told you I like J. Cole.
Rolls over here brings some knowledge to the program. I like it.
No, is this some of his lyrics?
That's the lyric right there.
Okay, Taj, let's hear your quote, and I'll read some of these lyrics to see if it's...
It's not my favorite quote, but it's a very significant quote that I remember. Roy was laughing because he saw what the quote is.
Who is it from? Let me guess.
It's from one of the wisest... Huh?
It's from a female.
No.
Oh, no. Okay, go ahead.
So a cartoon character or something? Bugs Bunny?
It's from Yoda.
Hey, I was not too far off.
Real quick, Taj, there's nothing wrong with females, obviously, but whenever we play video games, Taj is always a female. He has like this crazy admiration for females.
I respect, I respect females, strong women. My mom was a strong woman, and so I don't know what it is. Like from Chun-Li on, I've always...
Chun-Li. And Chun-Li is from Street Fighter. So the one-on-one fighting game, he would always be a female. He always gravitates to females. So that's why I guess his quote would come from a female.
No.
But it's Yoda.
This is Yoda. And
Can you do it in the Yoda voice, please?
Let me say the quote first, then I'll try.
No, do the quote. Everyone close your eyes.
No.
Let him say it first, and then he'll say it.
And I'm saying that the scene Luke Skywalker... he's trying to get this ship.
Yes, by the way, you are listening to the Dee Dee Jackson Power Love Show.
What planet is it?
It was the Dagobah or something system. It was he was in the swamp basically, and he was trying to get the ship out of the swamp.
Okay.
And they're trying to use the Force, and Yoda tells Luke to do it, and Luke's not trained yet, and he says, "I'll give it a try." And Yoda says, "Try not. Do or do not. There is no try." And why I like that quote, George Lucas, I was listening to commentary, and he said basically that's what his philosophy.
Director
and writer
of Star Wars.
Of Star Wars, but then he didn't write Empire Strikes Back. But he said basically he wanted to instill in people that, that not that self-confidence, but, people's fear is what stops them from doing stuff. And so Yoda's telling Luke, basically, don't try, just do it. And so I like that because I think that actually stuck with me when I was a kid.
What about the next line? You're leaving out one of my favorite lines.
Which one?
When Yoda does...
Yeah, so basically Luke...
I love how excited he is. Go for it.
Luke tries and he doesn't do it. And he says he says, what does he say? It's impossible?
Yoda ends up doing it.
And then Yoda does it. And then he says, "I can't believe it." Luke says, "I can't believe it." And he goes, "That is why you failed."
That is why you failed.
Taj Jackson for you. It's amazing. And so, as you've probably heard, Taj is incredibly talented with voices. He can mimic pretty much anyone's voice. That is Taj's specialty. Very good, though, Taj. I love your quote. I love your impersonation.
Thank you.
I hope the people at Star Wars, at Lucasfilms, are listening in case they need a
Call me
Yoda.
up.
Just call Taj up.
Frank Oz is busy.
Just call Taj Jackson. But, no, great quote. And I actually remember, that's another throwback from the past. Though the Henry Ford in that one reminds me of Uncle Michael, just teaching us at a young age the importance of self-confidence and the importance of going for it and believing in yourself.
And the Force. Don't stop till you get enough.
Don't stop till you get enough. Do you want to talk about that at all? Or?
No, I just remember him telling us about Star Wars and Darth Vader and the lines and how big of a thing the movie was when it first came out, and just how it was just this big phenomenon, and talking about the Force and the power of it. And that's what, don't stop till you get enough. Along with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, what else do we have, you guys? I think we're out of time, but if there's any strong points.
That's good.
It was a good show. Great show. It's an important show. Remember, we're here every Wednesday from 1 to 2. Next week, we have a special guest with us. The next 2 weeks, we have special guests. Royal, thank you for co-hosting with us. Always pleasure seeing you, son.
I love it.
Although I see you every day, it's a pleasure to see you in this setting. And if you found our program helpful, you can visit us online, www.ddjf.org, or you could text DDJF to 41444. If you text at the number 41444 and you text DDJF, it will set you up with an easy way to donate and help us continue this show and all the other programs we do. But I have to thank you guys, the listeners. This is a tough month for us. April 1 is our beloved mom's birthday. And you guys, like we said in the beginning, have been always supportive of us, and it's greatly appreciated. We love you guys tremendously.
You are our support system.
Huge. I don't know if you guys will ever really realize it, but even 20 years ago, you are our support system. And we thank you guys. With that said, remember to always be confident, go after your fears, attack it, and at the very least, you're going to gain some stableness. You're going to gain some inner strength. Whether you succeed or not, it's all part of it. You're learning, you're growing, and that's key. That's what's going to make you a strong person and help you able to navigate and I'm not going to say the word, but I'm going to say it. It helps you overcome loss, and it helps you learn how to deal with it. Strengthen yourself, overcome fear, and get that confidence. All right?
Never give up.
Never give up. All right, you guys, that's it. We love you all, and
see you next week.
Thank you for listening to The Power of Love. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Support for our Power of Love radio show comes from a variety of generous donors, including supporters from institutions, individuals, and corporations through the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. DDJF is a nonprofit 501c3 organization.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Power of Love radio show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Power of Love radio show, sponsored by the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. We believe that through the power of love, everything is possible. Everything is possible with love on your side. I am TJ Jackson, and I'm here with my middle brother, Terrell Jackson.
Yo, yo.
I'm here with Taj Jackson.
Hello.
And I'm here with another one of our brothers. I'm not going to even call him a friend, because this is like the other brother from me. As a youngster, my earliest memories, all of them are with this guy who's sitting here. I can't even say it straight because it's just a smile. This guy's in all my early memories, so he's a brother to me. Mr. Louis Tapia.
Yeah. So, hello. Thanks for having me.
Louis. So, okay, before I get into Louis, let me do all this. We're live on the Power of Love radio show. If you're listening to us right now, thank you for joining us. We have Twitter at DDJ Foundation, where you could tweet us your comments, your questions, anything you want to share or contribute to the show. We also have a phone number that you can call in. I got the confirmation from Louis. We're good accepting phone calls today. If you have any questions, it's going to be a fun show. Call us at 323-203-0815. Again, that's 323-203-0815. We are not licensed therapists. We're just ordinary people who have experienced loss in our lives. We've been impacted by it, and we've learned from it. And we want to share our opinions in an attempt to help you overcome whatever you're going through. If you need professional help, we urge you to seek it and find it. Don't just rely on us. So, first of all, how's everyone doing?
Good.
This is a fun show. I can't stop saying it because I'm looking to my right and seeing someone that's like a bro. I asked him, does he want to be a co-host or does he want to be a guest today? And what'd you say, Lou?
Guest.
He wants to be a guest. He wants to make sure
fill it out first.
But how was everyone's week?
Starting with me, I guess. It was good. We won.
Yeah, congratulations.
I always go with baseball, I guess. First.
Yeah, you always do.
I love baseball.
You're wearing
music.
an Angel
That's my life.
shirt, too.
Sure
so.
am, representing. Tough game. We won, though. 3-0.
Okay.
So that brings our record to 2-4, which is not good.
Well, last time I talked to you,
we were
you
in
won your
place.
first game. And then you won another one that quick?
No. We've been losing. It took a while to win. No, because those were preseason.
He doesn't mention when he loses.
So now, I mentioned that's all we've been doing is losing. But we won our last game. And then the other thing that's going on is Bryce and Adrian are doing like modeling, print
cool.
stuff,
Nice.
which is really good. And Bryce went on his first audition, and he booked the job, which
Hey,
is great.
yay.
I'm very excited for him. The only problem is
conflicts with baseball.
I have a game on Friday, Saturday, and Monday, and Friday is the. So
Are you allowed to say what he booked? We're all curious.
I guess
confident.
it's an A6.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's print. So it's
awesome.
great, but it's on the day that he has a game.
Hey.
So hopefully he'll
It
be able
works
to play.
out.
Yeah, we need him. He pitched actually pretty good. I was actually shocked.
That is
and
so
proud.
cool.
But so that's my big thing. That and music. Always doing music.
Taj Jackson, what are you up to?
Just doing a lot of photography stuff, but what I'm most excited
you
about.
really don't get in the mic.
What I'm most
Isn't it
excited about.
frustrating?
It is. He should know better.
I got to stay consistent here. What I'm most excited about was Prison Break started again. So, that was kind of really cool for me.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
I watched half.
Yeah, it's very nostalgic for me, but at the same time, I realized that both the stars are producers. And it was kind of like a passion project, bringing it back. I'm just happy for them. You could tell everyone fits perfectly.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
I like to see.
When did
comebacks.
that first come on air? It was a while.
Yeah.
It was a while ago. Yeah.
Like almost
They
10
lost
years
their
ago.
footing at one point, and so I like comebacks.
Yeah, I like
comeback
it.
kid.
I like good one, Taj. I like that.
So for me, real quick, before I get to Lou, I'm going to keep it short. I've been painting a lot.
Have you been painting, or have other people?
I was
been
going to say,
painting.
have you been supervising?
I've been painting, but I had a little fiasco where I spilled the paint, so I had to clean it up, which was
On carpet or?
it's on the the acrylic.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
It came out?
It came out. It was a pain, but
How
it
much
came
do you
out.
charge for painting?
I
need some backdrops
It's my
that need
first
to be
time ever painting
painted.
anything.
Well, how was it?
I'm
Did
in
you
a
do a good
phase in
job?
my life where I'm trying to experience everything
Yeah.
and trying to do everything, and I've learned a lot. So, I obviously see a lot of things painting. I have a lot of ideas for painting, but I never have actually done it. So
Now,
it's
did
cool.
you do it the right way? Did you paint?
No,
I
he
did.
didn't.
No,
tape it?
He put newspaper
Okay,
down. I saw his Instagram.
Time out.
I saw
do
that.
it
The
the
one,
T.J. Jackson
time out.
one?
You're right. So the first one I didn't do it right. You're right, Lou. I took the
I
shortcut.
saw it, too.
Yeah, Louis saw it. But then I painted another thing and I put the tape down.
Why? Did you
Because
learn
I
the hard way?
learned.
You
Because I learned.
You
Yeah, I was using Clorox wipes as erasers.
Yeah.
So it was awful.
And how'd it go?
It went all
What's the
right.
outcome?
The color could have been a bit different, but it was fun. It was good.
You would do it again?
Yeah. No. I don't know. It depends. I think I would. It's therapeutic.
I
man.
saw JoJo was helping you.
JoJo was helping.
Did they
they're-
start to help you and then leave you with the job? at
No,
the
Joe
end?
wanted to stay. I actually had
That's
to
good.
tell her to go inside.
Oh, that's good. Because
Yeah, 'cause
normally
she
people
was-
want to start and then they all leave.
No, they're on spring break, so it was a nice little bonding thing. It was
That's
cool.
nice.
That's
Good.
nice.
Louis, you're
sir.
you're on spring break.
I'm on spring break.
That's why we had the privilege of having you here.
That's
'cause you're on
right.
spring break.
That's right.
How was your week?
All I've done is sleep.
Really?
Yeah. My 2 daughters and my wife are away on a girls' trip. And so I got the whole house and I decided to sleep.
What time's the party?
Yeah, they come home today, so the party's over. But yeah, on spring break, it's just kind of a time to reboot.
Yeah.
Kind of take a little time for myself.
Good.
And then, looking forward to summer right around the corner.
Time
You get
for
1 week or 2 weeks?
We get 1 because we get 3 during Christmas or winter break.
Okay. Now, most of you, actually, I think all of you don't know, but Louis is a teacher. Has been in the education field for forever.
23
23
years.
years. So Louis is our education expert. He's,
I don't know about that.
Dude, I am. Trust me, I am.
He's actually, he does.
So, before, I'll just dive into it.
Real quick,
ahead,
though,
yes.
mention his wife as well.
You go ahead.
So, also, we had Mara on the show.
Miss Mara Tapia.
Yes. So, that's Louis' wife.
My better half. Yes.
Yeah, the way better half. Yes. But
like
she
a
was
couple
a
months
guest
ago.
a couple months ago on the show.
Yeah.
So Louis is looking for the same treatment, but I doubt he'll get that.
Anything? Did you want to talk about anything before
No, go
I
ahead.
dive in?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
As far as what?
Just anything with Lou, personal stuff. Is there any past, or you just want to just dive in?
We'll get into the show. I'll bring it all up.
Well, I mean, you did go with us on the Brotherhood tour.
did.
Yes.
And you tutored Austin.
I did. It's crazy.
That wasn't planned, though. was it?
No.
Love it.
It's crazy to think that in 1984, when I pulled up to Encino Little League to play baseball,
On what team?
The Angels.
That's right.
The Angels. That my best friends from that age till now would still be the same people.
Yeah.
And then to be able to experience a lot of really cool things and to learn a lot is just stuff that I've carried over in my life. I mean, who gets to experience one of the most amazing families and their last name isn't Jackson. It's, Tapia. Yet you get all the privilege of watching the work ethic, watching what it takes to be successful. And it's really just that type of early exposure that allows you to be successful.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you, Lou. Awesome. So, a fun fact for all the 3T listeners out there: Louis was with us on the Brotherhood tour, which was 96, or was it just 97?
No, it was 90. I graduated from Santa Barbara, finished playing baseball. It was 97.
It was 97.
Yeah.
Okay. So Louis had a job on the Brotherhood.
He didn't
tour.
know it at the time.
He didn't know it before he started.
No, because it wasn't. Yeah.
Okay. So Louis, do you want to share what your main job on the Brotherhood tour was?
I had a few, but the main one was I had to pull a girl out of the audience for what song? Tease Me, yeah. Man, that was hard.
So if you weren't selected to come on stage with us back in 97, it's all Louis' fault. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'm still in awe of what I witnessed out there.
It's different, right?
It's different. It was just an amazing, being a history major and being able to travel and then just to see the love that they have for you guys and your family. It was special.
Yeah.
It was special.
Cool.
I have a question. How important do you think it is for people to travel? Because Americans don't travel.
Well, if you talk to my wife, I'm not a big traveler because of my anxiety. So I'm trying to get over it. I've traveled more since I've gotten married, and she kind of pushes me. It's super important. I'm still disappointed at all of us for the way we didn't experience our trip there. I mean, I know it was hard to get out, but I still have
like a wasted opportunity.
It was a huge wasted opportunity
I know
for us
because
we thought we were, or at least I thought this was going to happen for us every.
Well, we all thought
that was going to be the case.
So I'm like, I can look at the Eiffel Tower from my hotel room. No worries, I'll see it next time. And I regret that, but I think it's very important.
Yeah,
Cool.
you meet people from different cultures as well. So I think it's super important because. Then when you see stuff on the news or whatever, you have something to kind of reference it with if it goes against what you experienced as well.
As a teacher, what has been the biggest change in your profession?
It's a good question. I think the biggest change is the accountability that they are trying to have a test determine if a student is classified as successful. So a score will determine if you are proficient, advanced, or basic. As we know, you can't put a score on a child. There are some students who test horribly, but are super smart. A one score can't determine who that kid is.
Taj raised.
So I think the biggest change is that we're working towards kind of changing from a test on Monday, a test on Tuesday, to more of mastery grading where kids are doing more problem solution assignments.
Sorry, just so our listeners know, what age?
I teach the hardest, middle school. Middle school.
Why is that the hardest?
They're going through puberty. It's just a really hormones.
So what is that age range from?
So we get sixth graders that are still are still young. I think they're 10, and they can go all the way up to 13, 14, depending on their birthdays, right? So you have some old, some young.
What is protocol? Am I saying that word right?
Parochial?
No, protocol.
Protocol.
Thank you, Tara.
You're welcome. Anytime you need one on here.
You should know, DJ. You have all the vocabulary.
My mind sometimes.
Well, you'd be interested to know. Like a lot of the stuff I've learned that I teach my students, I learned watching you guys. I especially taught them not to be like Terrell as a student.
Smart.
That's why
you're an amazing teacher.
Because Louis,
you're amazing.
Would you ever guess that I'd be the one correcting?
Yeah, that's why I'm not even look at Terrell. But you keep correcting.
Louis known us forever. He was there from day one. So as far as 3T stuff, he was the guy that can write the book. And as far as educations and brothers and stuff, he knows I was the one that was lagging behind a little bit.
So if anyone writes a book on Taj Terrell teaching in 3T, unless it's from Louis, he's
I
got
the. That. He knows.
I do.
Love it. So here's my question: how has it changed? If a kid comes into school and you get, tipped that there has been a significant loss. They lost a parent. They lost their families going through divorce. What is the protocol for handling that? Is there any, or what does Louis do in that situation? Over 23 years, you've had to experience that.
It's difficult because some of that information is not released to teachers. So we may not know.
For privacy reasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically if we receive documentation, an IEP, or if we get notified that, then we're a little bit more able to accommodate some of the difficulties they may have. So we've experienced a couple students who, the area we work in, there's high crime, high violence. One of our young girls, her mother was murdered, had to move in with her grandfather, came to our academy, and she tells us how this has become a family for her. So it's really just about being there to make them feel special, that someone's there to kind of take care of them. And it really, research says it just takes one person to actually, one teacher to make a difference in a student's life.
That's awesome.
That's kind of what we have been building for these since you've been kind of helping me out with all of this for the last 6 years. Just something that's different than your traditional public school.
Wow.
So LeBron James is opening his own public school in Akron.
Is he?
I don't know if you saw that. Yeah,
I didn't.
No.
So it's becoming with the transition from Obama to Trump. Education is in a transformation.
Transformation how?
Public schools were really one of the main, public versus private, let's say. So you guys went to Buckley. I teach at a public school for LA Unified. There are now charter schools. Trump's administration is talking about vouchers and giving parents more choice as to where they would like to go. So it's really providing, I see it as an opportunity. Others see it as a attack on public school. We're just trying to make the best school we possibly can.
So when you're saying there may be vouchers, that means a parent can choose what school and be a charter school? Or?
So like if, let's say, for example, let's say a school costs $20,000, the government, you get funded by the government for a set amount of money. That student could take that money and use it towards a private school, but the parents then have to supplement what's left. But it's an opportunity for some students to get into like a religious school. It opens up more choice for families.
I like that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean
maybe I'm missing something, but I just had to pay Buckley. I would love a voucher because that is no joke.
Yep. Yeah. It's quite it's really a great opportunity right now. California is different because it's California, but it'll be interesting to see what happens for the remainder of the time that this all occurs.
Now, Lou, you used to head coach baseball
yes.
at our old school,
at Buckley. Yes. And my wife's from Buckley, so I should have just went to Buckley.
You sure should have.
Couldn't afford it.
Yeah, we were all there. That would have been great. But my thing, I was going to go somewhere, but I'm not going to go there. My question is, because obviously you love teaching. You teach now. You're a baseball head coach at Buckley for how many years was that?
15.
For a while.
Yeah.
Different kind of baseball, isn't it? I told you, I'd give you
We're
one.
getting there.
So my question is, what made you get into teaching?
It's a good question. I just loved it. And then, let me be honest. I had two choices. I could get a job, and my parents were going to kick me out of the house if I didn't. So I said, I'm going to try to be a teacher. And I started off as a substitute. So when I got back from tour, I started substituting, and I just loved it. I loved it. And I haven't left. You're on the same schedule as your children.
Yeah.
You are making a difference every single day, and these kids truly appreciate it.
Can I make a confession? I dream about being a teacher. I really do. So I don't know if I've told you that before, that I want to be a teacher, but I will probably be talking to you about it. And this is 5, maybe 10 years. But I think 20. You said 20. I think being a teacher is so cool. I don't know why.
It's great.
Because you can really influence.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it right. You're on your kid's schedule, and you can influence people and they can. Like, I remember some things. My teacher, we talked about that. Taj and Cheryl, you guys have Holbeck, right?
Yeah, Dr. Holbeck.
You guys, it's such a great position to do good, in such a cool, subtle way. So I've been thinking about being a teacher.
It's
I mean, at least for a couple of years, I'd love to try.
Yeah, once you start, you wouldn't stop, because it's before it was more difficult because of the way that we taught. We were teaching 20th century books. In our public schools back in the day, you couldn't write in your book, or you got charged for it.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things that really inhibited that. Technology is really transformed.
Big time, right?
And it's fun. And teaching, you wake up, I'm there, first one to school. I'm there, open the classrooms, kids are in, and it's really about trying to create an environment where our kids learn to love. And let me make it right, because this is something that TJ, I always listen to some. TJ is always the smartest one out of y'all.
Wait. I'm sorry.
I saw money exchange right
Hold
there.
on. I'm sorry. I think you're lying. Say that one more time,
Yeah,
Lou.
TJ, he's always been the one that I
don't know about
I mean, I learned all my.
I love it.
Seriously.
I love it.
But the one thing I always remember TJ saying has always been, it's weird, because you kind of have a heart of a teacher. It's always learn to love learning. It was never it was always learning something new.
I love it, man.
Because you got to grow.
You got to grow.
Now, Louis, you majored in history.
I did.
And one thing that I remember, and I think you probably still do at time to time, Jeopardy.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite memories of you. You used to come over and you would turn on the TV and watch Jeopardy.
I did.
And I was always amazed at how much you knew.
That was
Look at the smile.
That was back in my day, man, when I used to love it. But now I really, literally, I probably as bad as you. I'm on YouTube all day learning how to code. So
yeah,
it's changed. The world has changed. A teacher doesn't have to go to school anymore. I mean, you can learn everything you want if you just research it.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question.
Okay.
Obviously, you've been teaching 20 plus years. So you have seen the transition from when you started to where it is now.
Yes.
Bringing in technology, iPads, computers. Is that helping? Is it hurting? Is it both?
Okay, it's a great question, because you're going to have different. You're going to have it's different. Okay, so you are looking at some people who don't let their children use technology. They don't use it at home. They don't use it all day, etc. But the students that we're working with, they need to learn how to use it properly in order to compete in the job markets that's going to be coming. So it depends on, like, my children, they don't use they're not allowed to use any technology during the school week.
But they have to use it in school?
My oldest, Dylan, has it in 5th grade. She's using Chromebooks. Charlie, she's in 3rd. She's not using them.
Because some schools, it's mandatory. Like Bryce and Adrian. Well, I don't know if Adrian. Yeah, Adrian too.
It all depends on if you're using it to transform the way your kids are learning. So, like, changing the way that TJ had to annotate. Right, he would write in the book on the side, highlighting. Everything can be done now with technology, but you also remember my students, I have students with disabilities as well. Right. So I need to be able to provide different ways for them to be assessed. So I have a student that can't write. So he does all of his, and he's brilliant. One of the smarter kids, but he does everything verbally. So he records it. That's what the technology is supposed to do. Now, I know for a fact when my kids fall asleep in class and I pull them up and I say, what have you been doing? They're not watching TV. They're on YouTube 24/7.
Really?
That's all they do. I don't even know some of the musicians they listen to. I don't know. I used to be able to just go on like the top 50 Billboard and go, okay, I'm going to learn this song. Kendrick Lamar. I can learn that song. I'll figure it out. I can juju on the beat. I can learn all that. I can't keep up with them because it
also moves quick.
It moves so fast.
Yeah.
It moves so fast.
Lou, do you think that because there's technology now in the schools, not all of them, but do you think that affects a kid's writing, the ability to write, how much practice he's getting with the pen? Or
It depends. It depends. There's what do they say? You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So there's always been, now technology, you don't need to write. The Windows Surface Pro, you use the pen, you can write. It just depends what you're going to do. When's the last time you wrote a letter and mailed it?
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So the skills, 21st century skills.
All right, we're going to take our first phone call. Who do we have on the line right now?
Hi, this is Pam.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Pam, P-A-M.
Hi, Pam. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm listening to my crappy cell phone, so I apologize.
All good.
No, I was listening. I was listening to your topic where you're talking about school, and I helped my niece out with my 3 nephews, and I actually had a question for Louie in terms of dealing with the ages that they are 11, soon to be 10 on tax day, and 9. And one of the challenges that I'm having with them is I've been trying to work with them on my own. I have them every weekend, but as they've now gotten older and they live in a very rough neighborhood, and trying to work with them and augment what they're getting in the classroom, but there's a lot of disruption in the classroom. So trying to kind of work through that has been rather difficult.
Sure. So are you asking how to work through the difficulties in the classroom, or what skills you could be focusing on at that age range?
I'd say more, I guess, skills, kind of both. Yeah. Skills with that age range, as well as dealing with
sure. So
children in challenging neighborhoods. Because I come from that neighborhood, but I'm a lot older. I'm 55 years old, so it's a very different time than it is now.
So my first thing, and my first thing I would say to any parent is you need to be loud and vocal about what you want in that classroom, because if not, nothing will change.
So you're saying, when you're saying being loud, make your voice heard to the teachers.
Start with the teacher. So there's protocol, right?
Okay.
So, and you guys know me, unfortunately, I never follow protocol, so I just go straight up to the top.
Okay.
But and I recommend that because it's, we're in a competitive environment for students, and the teacher needs to manage that classroom. If that classroom's not being managed, it's the right of the parent to go in and do something about it. Because
if you don't make your voice heard, then they're not going to do anything.
No.
And then your kid is the one who's going to be suffering from it.
Correct. And then the other thing is Pam still on the phone? Pam, are they boys? Are they all boys?
They're all boys.
Yeah, that's your first problem. No, it's a tough one. Yeah, boys are different.
But it has been a challenge because keep in mind they're my grandnephews.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not the parent, and so last year, I think it was last year, my mom and I, because they've been going through, it's like for this particular school, because I've been trying to get my niece to take them out of that school, because I think they just have this. They're not alone, but they just have this reputation as like troublemakers now.
Right.
So the problem is that's the viewpoint that people have of them. Not all of the teachers, because they have had some teachers that have been very patient and tried to work with them. But we actually spent like half a day in my oldest nephew's classroom, and we got in the classroom. I'm like, oh my God! Now the teacher has grown a bit. I think that may have been his first year.
Oh, yeah.
But over half the classroom, it was so disruptive. And they had, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 kids that were like kind of in a little reading group. There was one little boy that was just on his own. I mean, he was trying to like be disruptive to get my mom and my attention. But he was just kind of, I guess, maybe they could work with him, but he was just kind of off to the side. But there was so much disruption going on. And so I said to my mother, why in the heck are we getting calls when pretty much over half the classroom is basically in, having issues.
You're talking.
This
is a big problem. It's a problem. And disruptive classroom, what we talk about is engagement time. You have a 50-minute period or a 60-minute period. If you spend, 25 minutes of that disciplining kids, you now are left with a little bit of time to teach. But the most important thing, and this is what I'll tell any parent, when they get into middle school, the most important thing that they need to continue to do, and I guarantee I will have the support of all 3 of these guys, they need to read, because boys and even some of the girls will not read. For some reason in middle school, we drop off where they think reading is for schoolboys, and they won't do it. And so what we find is that with the new testing that the Common Core or the SBAC, as we have it here, it's a lot of being able to comprehend what they're reading. So maybe even like a family read, a book that you all read as a family. Those are things you can do, then sit around and talk about it.
Yeah, that I have been doing, and I plan to continue to do it. I mean, when I have them, I'm involved in the church. I go to church every Sunday. They're involved in the church. We go to the library regularly, so we get 3 weeks to read the book, and then we go back and they read, and I have them then tell me what they read, explain to me what the setting is, what was the main topic of the book. So I have been doing those things. I've been having more of a struggle trying to find kind of tools in terms of math. And I heard you guys discussing earlier about, I think, Louie, you mentioned going online and learning about coding yourself. That's one of the areas that I'm deficient in, but I want to get them exposed to. Now, granted, I'm trying to do this with, 2.5 days out of every week, but I'm still trying to expose them to as much as I can and try to control what I can control. So I have the reading thing I have been doing. We've been doing that for quite some time now.
Well, the math
and that will continue.
Well, for any listeners out there that have children and they want to find a resource that you can do math on, there's a great one. Khan Academy is free. It's all web based.
Khan is with a K, right?
Yeah, Khan with a K. Khan. Yeah, it's amazing.
KAHN.
KHAN. Yeah, they have video tutorials. They have it's all technology based. So if they have a phone, if they have a tablet, whether it's Android, PC, or Mac, it's irrelevant because it's web based, and it's really, really good for anyone that wants to brush up on their math skills, even for adults.
Cool. Pam.
Okay, I will try. I think I actually heard of that too. So I will try that one. And just real quick before I let you guys go, I wanted to say I really appreciate the program. I talk to my mom every day, and she's 80. And you had a program, I think it was on dementia or something like that. And she and I actually have been talking about that. And I think it was a woman that was on the program with you that day. And she was talking about dementia not being kind of like the usual forgetful things that we often talk about, I'm losing it kind of a thing. And she talked about how prolonged it is in terms of, it's like forgetting your ride home.
Right.
And things like that. And so it allowed me to have a conversation with my mom. And she started talking to me about the fact that she felt that she was in those early stages because she actually had an episode where she forgot her way home.
Aww.
So it was. I found that to be very helpful to have the discussion. And in fact, we just had a family meeting where we were talking about kind of stepping up for my parents and kind of going to the doctors meetings with them and things like that. So that program was very helpful, and I want you guys to know that, as well as this call being very helpful today. So I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pam. Thank you for everything, and thanks for the support. All our love to you and your family.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay, thank you. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I think another thing just to add from a parental aspect.
I was just going to say something from a parent perspective.
Is I think it's important. I don't know the male aspect, if there's a male role model for these 3 boys, because especially at that age, I was fortunate. I had 2 older brothers, and cousins, you, Lou, but I had, even older guys, Uncle Michael and Bill. I had mentors. So I don't know your situation, Pam, or anyone out there, but make sure there's a strong male presence in their life that is, because boys do kind of look at women and men differently. They just do. So I think it's important for a young man to see a great role model.
Yeah, there's we had a couple students that actually their parents were having similar problems, and they went out and joined the Big Brother program, and totally transformed them.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge.
No, I wanted to switch gears.
Yeah,
it's all right because I know we have Louis here, and I don't want to waste the opportunity to discuss this.
Well, Louis coming back too.
Yeah, he will be back. But
I am a Jeopardy champion. I know a lot about a lot.
Yes, you but switching gears, I want to go back. I want to go back to August 27th, 1994.
Yes.
The day
we lost our mom
and I lost our mother.
Okay.
I remember calling you.
I do.
You were actually in Arizona.
Yes.
I remember the phone call like yesterday. The question I want to ask you.
You in baseball?
No, I was homie hopping. That's the name I was given because I was dating Melissa at the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Homie hopping. Never heard that.
Yeah, me neither until the kids told me that.
Okay.
Never heard that one either. But you learned a lot with Liz. My question is number one, when I told you that mom had passed, number one, what went through your head? Because you're our best friend, you're our brother, and you were out of town.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel, number one, experience that? Number two, being away, how did you feel, And then number three, as our best friend, as our brother, how did you feel? What was the way you could support us?
Good questions. I totally remember it too. When I first heard it, I don't really recall. It was such a shock. It was, but I do remember feeling helpless. Like, here I am, way in Arizona, I can't get there, right? It wasn't as if I could just, it's a 6-hour drive and then a flight, whatever. But still, you're almost helpless. As a friend, I know I know you guys, so I knew the only thing that I needed to do was just be there. That's really it. I mean, you guys are pretty good about if you need something, asking for it. Otherwise, it's really just about knowing that you have support there from people that, because it's invasive in your life. My job is just to be simple. Whatever you guys need, I'm there to do. It's always been like that.
Yeah. Because I forget what show it was, but something hit me, and it was not only the importance of you actually losing someone, but the opportunity of a friend to help you get over the loss and how they can support. But we never really even discussed all that. But one thing we had, and I don't know what day that was exactly, but I know we were playing baseball. We were playing K9 baseball every Sunday. And that was very helpful because we played with all of our best friends, your cousin Johnny, and you were there, and Andrew and all those guys.
Well,
Scott,
you're forgetting not just your Uncle Jermaine, your Uncle Jackie, Uncle Tito.
Yeah.
My dad still talks about how he got that bunt down and popped both his hamstrings.
He filled in. You remember when he filled in?
But
I think that we decided to play that Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think that was actually one of the best things for us because we were surrounded by everybody, and for a couple hours we got to be with everyone and play ball a little.
And I think you make a good point, Joe, because I think a lot of people, when tragedy hits or when a shock comes, you kind of just stop, which I understand, but I think it's also I think the key is to be there, is like what you said, Louis, is to be there for someone. And I think what I'm trying to say is you don't have to be actively present. You could be
right.
Like, I don't want to say subconsciously present, but just the fact that we're playing a game together,
just to know that
not even
around.
talking about it, but just that connection you feel by having bodies around you is sufficient. So and it goes for everyone who's going through any type of situation. Just being there is half of it. You know what I mean? And it goes, like I said, even with Pam's situation with the boys, if you can find an activity where you're just there together as a group, it goes a long way, right?
One of the other parts, you guys, that being a school teacher, we're always trying to instill this work ethic and this feeling in our students, especially at our school. And one of the things that we really, really harp on with them as well is a lot of them have gone through a lot of stuff. We have foster children. We have just a lot of things. But we really tell them we're there to support you, and we're not letting you use it as an excuse why you're not going to be successful. Right? That is probably the most important thing. So the girl I was telling you about, she's got straight A's. She was on a robotics team. She could have easily just fell into a funk, but we didn't let her.
I love that. So here's my question to you. How do you go about doing that without coming off insensitive or coming off as not understanding, which is what I assume you may get from certain either students or family members?
I think kids aren't stupid, man. They see, right? They know if you're sincere and if you're not. So I think it's really important that, one, we have places where they can go, but kids don't want to talk to that counselor, or they don't want to go up to to talk to the principal. Yeah. They build relationships, and I think it's something that they have 3 years with me. We're constantly building those relationships, and our school is more about, or our program is more about those personal relationships than it is about if they're know the states and the capitals,
which is great, which is more important to have those relationships
for sure in middle school.
And I know you're a solid teacher, because for those that don't know, Louis can get strict, but he's full of love. That's right. And he wants what's best for you, period. You know what I mean? And like you said, kids aren't stupid. I think they feel that. Yeah. So when we came and visited you, right. I brought Royal and
Royal Paris and yeah.
So we came and did some work with Louis and his students, and it was just so cool to see Mr. Tappy. Mr. Tappy, I love Mr. Tappy. They love him, and you're perfect for that, Lou.
But that's why I love teaching, and it's just you're making a difference every day.
And like you said, it's important to not let them think they're at a disadvantage or they can use it as a crutch. I think that's very strong.
They can't. There's too many people. We make too many excuses for too much stuff, and the reality is that I'm learning this now that I'm Terrell spoke to me about a coach. I'm now coaching girls softball.
What age?
Oh Lord, my daughter, it's 10, 11, 12. I've got them all, but it's a different beast. I'm so used to being so hard on my girls. That's how my father was, but girls are different. They play based on how they feel. So I can't be yelling and screaming, and so it's making me a better person too. It's a choice. We have choices to change, and that's always been we have that choice.
Are you reading anything right now, though? Any books?
Oh, any books?
Yeah.
No, because I'm taking a class. I'm taking a Python class, so that's what
Python.
Coding,
scripting. I was about to say, you learning snakes on me?
No, but I did. I've been reading a book called. Actually, I'm listening to a book. I don't read because I like to multitask, so I'm listening to. It's called The Westing Game, an old school.
I haven't heard that one.
It's a fictional book, and then I'm reading Design Your Life, same book that I started with you.
Cool, man.
Kind of redesigning. I am looking at an approach of worrying about things I can control. That's my new goal.
Forever growing.
Forever growing.
Okay, we're going to take another phone call. Who do we have on the line right now?
It's Meredith again.
How are you,
Meredith? I am actually really calling for Louis this time.
I love it.
Louis,
wow.
I am a substitute teacher.
Oh, welcome. That's how I started.
Oh my goodness! I started because my sister-in-law is a principal in Wisconsin, and she told me, she said, start out as a teacher's aide where you can get a feel of the class, and then maybe move up to a teacher. Well, I just moved to teacher, and I'm like you. I try to teach more in the inner city school area because I like working with those kids because a lot of times, they get, overlooked.
Right.
And when I tell you, dealing with the general population, I think I called you guys back a couple of months ago, and I told you how I work with special needs, and that was my passion. I'm realizing that sometimes it's better working with special needs than general population. I've been kicked. I've been punched. I've been today, I was just hit today with someone. It is crazy out there, but at the same time, I love it. I love helping because the kids, when I say I was kicked and punched, those were my special need kids. But the general population kids, they're to me, it's just, I don't know, it's a different generation than the generation we grew up in. Just like with the profanity, kids swearing in class, I have to tell them every time when I go in class, I say, look, guys, I'm not going to be your teacher, because my teenage daughter taught me how to be a substitute teacher. I said, I'm not coming in trying to be your teacher, but as a substitute teacher, I do expect 3 things. That's 1, to listen to me while I'm taking attendance. Do not use profanity in front of me, and I have a little thing about kids smacking and popping gum. And don't use your headset with the music all out. Those are the only things I ask, and half of the kids cannot understand why they can't use profanity. And I just tell them, growing up, yes, I wasn't a goody two-shoe. I used to use profanity in high school, but I never would have thought to swear in front of a teacher. I just can't comprehend that.
What age group is this?
I'm with you with the public schools.
You gotta you're striking a chord with me right now, because I hear you, because it's rampant out on the play area as well as in the classroom. And so the way we've been trying to deal with that is we've been explaining to them, look, how can you say anything when you turn on a radio station like Power 106 on the regular radio station, and you basically can fill in the words that are being bleeped out or left? That
correct.
2 Live Crew was getting, Luke Skywalker was in the Supreme Court getting banned when we were growing up. You couldn't listen to that.
Right.
So society wise, it's really changed. But what we have to educate our children and our students on is when it's okay to use that, right? When in the classroom with the teacher, out on the playground, that's probably not the best spot. But when you're with your friends, and there are little things like that. There are a time and a place. School is not the place, because we've been having the same problem. But it is. So it's society.
Your kind of advice is don't go for the kill. Just kind of like, you can't say don't ever say that, because you're going to lose them. They're never going to buy in. But you got to teach them. Look, I'm not going to be able to say never do that, because you're probably not going to listen. But don't just do it here. There's a time and a place.
So what, you're going to go into a job interview, and when they're interviewing you, you're going to be throwing the F-bomb around?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what you're setting yourself up to do. Now, me, I have a bad mouth when I'm on that baseball field or with you guys, but when I'm in that classroom, or when I'm on talking here or doing, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know the general, but
you have the respect for what.
Yes,
yeah.
But listen to the lyrics. I mean,
it's tough for them.
Tough right now. It's I don't even know. It scares me.
And it's interesting you would say that too, because that's one of the things I tell them. I said, I'm not using profanity in front of you, and my daughter tells me, because she's a senior, she tells me how some of her instructors will swear, and I'm like, what is wrong with? It's just me personally. I just don't get that level of respect.
Look, there's one thing. Like I am all about fitting in with the kids. That's why I can juju on the beat with the best of them, but not cuss. You have to be that role model. So it's hard. It's just a hard time right now to be an educator. It's just super hard.
What's your advice for Meredith? Meredith, are you planning on pursuing the education field? Are you planning on being a full-time teacher, or are you going to just do the substituting?
No, actually, I am, because remember, I told you guys last week I'm moving out there, and actually I'm going to try to sub during the summer out there.
Okay.
But no, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to stick with high school and teach biology, or actually do special ed, because that's what I'm getting my master's in. But it's just, I don't know. It's just, I love it, and I want to be there for the teenage generation. But at the same time, sometimes I do get frustrated, because like last week I had a child tell me to shut up, and I let's just say I can get ugly.
I can imagine. I think we'd all respond the same way.
Yeah.
So, Louis, what would be your advice for Meredith, who's going down this road as
here's my advice to you, and this is the advice I give to all my teachers. Don't take it personal. They're kids. I still think about when we were in middle school, some of the decisions, or even high school, some of the bad decisions we've made. I think the most important thing, at least for me personally, that has allowed me to be successful, is I never hold a grudge. I've been told to shut up. I've been told the F word, and I just laugh, and I just go, hey, I'm getting paid whether you tell me to F off or not. I don't, it's not worth it for me to fight with them and to give them that satisfaction of knowing that they pushed my buttons. I mean, I've been trained by Terrell Jackson, who pushes the most buttons.
You're welcome.
Meredith, hold on. You got to have to hang with us for 20 seconds because Louis just hit something. Terrell Jackson, and for all of you out there, he took pride in getting under your skin.
In the dome.
He would study it. He would live in it. So Louis just hit something right on the head. He got a lot of great practice from
I made
Terrell.
you guys all mentally tough.
Terrell
you guys
did
can
make us
thank
mentally
me now.
Because it's not easy. It's not, and I applaud you for dealing with students with disabilities.
Yes.
That's my passion as well. So that's where TJ, Paris, and Prince came and visited us with my teammates program. And if I could do it all over, I would have probably been a special education teacher.
Why, Lou?
Because they just smile. They smile. They're so happy.
Yeah.
They're especially the one you saw them.
Yeah,
all.
it was awesome. It was incredible.
It's incredible, and you wake every day. I mean, I wake up excited to go to work every day, but I wake up even more excited to see them in the morning.
That's awesome.
You know, it's important.
And I'm serious. I know I have to get off here, but yeah, you're right. Because like I said, my special ed kids, I've actually literally been punched by them. Like I said, today I was working there with them. I got hit, but still at the end of the day, I love those kids because they are so genuine. And I'm an advocate for kids with special needs. So I agree with you. They are definitely special kids. So, but thanks for taking my call, guys.
Thank you, Meredith. Thanks for the support. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So, 2 great phone calls. I wish we had more time. We're only 2 minutes. We only have 2 more minutes. But is there anything? First of all, any you guys want to say?
Just
or
real quick,
ask?
is it a respect thing? Is this generation just not?
Well, it's a society. Well, I don't know. It's cultural. In other countries, teachers are revered. They are respected, and they are paid. What their value is. Unfortunately, there's it's not an appreciated profession.
And I'm going to add to that because I think when we grew up, like I remember Mom used to have us, bring gifts to our teachers, and I don't see that as much nowadays. And I think a lot of kids and even families take teachers for granted. Yeah. And what they need to understand is your kid is spending hours and hours with that person. So they shape them. So I think it starts at home too. And any of our listeners, you have kids, tell your kids to make sure they're respecting their teachers and the authority at their school, and just being a good role model for everyone. I think it goes a long way.
Very true. So. That's the most. I can deal with squirrely kids. I can't deal with mean kids. Yeah, that are just flat out mean and disrespectful. Yeah, that's tough. Makes it tough.
Yeah. Before we go, Lou, you're always working on some cool project to help people. Yeah. What are you working on now?
So I have so much going on. So right now, I'm going to post some. I'll post some images on my Instagram, or I'll send them to you guys, and you guys can. So right now I'm actually working with Mr. Terrell over there.
Nice.
We have built a new music studio. That's one of our big ones. We have we're the big push for you parents out there that you have the STEM movement. We are part of the STEAM movement, where our A's stand for arts and athletics, because athletics are a huge part. And then we're looking at kind of opening up our own school in the next
like a charter school.
Yeah, like our own charter school. Just because we want autonomy to do some of the crazier things that no other schools are doing.
That's awesome.
And what's going to be? Can you share what will be different?
We're not going to have any bells. We are going to be working completely on passion learning. So students, like right now, Terrell's helping me with my students. We took the sample of California Love by Tupac, and we're writing our school song with the lyrics. And so that's the passion project of my musicians. I have kids that are building video games. I have newspaper article writers. So it's about finding their passion. And we have a saying, we want to find their passion so it'll eventually lead to a pathway, which will be a job.
Cool,
so that's
man.
what we're working on.
Cool. Any websites? Any social media? Not yet.
No, I got my Instagram. I'll show. I don't care.
You don't want to share it here?
I don't even know how to do it. Just look for Lou Tapia.
Lou Tapia. All right.
Lou, I don't even know.
We'll find something and then we'll share it. But Louis, you're awesome.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Anytime you need some education or anything.
Hey, whenever you're off, because Louis is normally in school at this time and it's spring break for him. But anytime you have a break, make sure you let us know so you could join us. Even if we have a guest, you could be our co-host. You're a bro to us. You're family. So we always love your perspective. And you're incredibly smart, especially when you said I was the smartest. That was a highlight.
That was
of the
our
show.
only slip up.
Taj, you were close too. You were close too.
Taj was close.
Because I'm not a parent, right? I waited too long.
Well, it was a fun show, like I thought it would be. Louis, you're awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Taj, Cheryl, anything else you guys want to share?
No, that's it.
We're good.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for listening. We're here every Wednesday from 1 to 2 Pacific Standard Time. If you found our program helpful, you can afford to do so, please text DDJF at 41444, and you can set up a simple donation. Even $1 a month would help. So anything would help. We're trying to do great programs. I did the disclaimer. It's a little late, isn't it?
No, I mean, people are still listening.
Yeah, well, I did it earlier.
Okay.
But any little bit, we're starting to roll out our programs for the year to help kids in need and help everyone, really. But any little bit will help, and it keeps things like the radio station and the radio show going. So thank you guys so much for listening, and that's pretty much it, right?
See you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to The Power of Love. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Support for our Power of Love radio show comes from a variety of generous donors, including supporters from institutions, individuals, and corporations through the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. DDJF is a nonprofit 501c3 organization.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Power of Love radio show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Power of Love radio show, sponsored by the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. We believe that through the power of love, everything is possible with love on your side. I am TJ Jackson, and I am with my brothers, Taj Jackson.
Hello.
I always say,
You threw a curveball. I know. I was like, oh.
I got to keep you guys on your toes.
Last, that's all.
No.
And Terrell Jackson.
What's up?
How you guys doing?
Good.
Hanging.
Hanging?
Yeah.
A little tired, but
Terrell's a little tired. I'm trying to compensate for him.
Why are you so tired, Terrell?
Because I don't sleep.
So how are we going to fix that?
I'm sleeping, but I don't want to.
Sleeping has so many benefits.
It's such a waste of time.
No.
It does have great benefits.
We got to
but
do a
it's
show on
waste.
sleeping. It's not a waste.
You guys
This is where
always sleep. I never understood that when we were little.
Scientifically, I think
like
sleeping
12.
is great, but
How
I
do
do
you
feel
sleep
I
till
do feel
12?
that by sleeping you're wasting time. Like,
okay, but
It's such a waste.
But he's probably sleeping 3 hours a day when you need at least 5 to 6, 7,
Yeah.
really 6 to 7. And I'm not getting that much sleep, but I assume you're getting less than me because you don't sleep and you think it's right to not sleep. Sometimes I
not
put
that
my
I think it's right, but
yeah, it changes. Like, I think sleeping's so important because it changes your attitude too, like your tolerance level.
That's
like,
true.
When I don't
Absolutely.
sleep, I have less tolerance for things.
And what about the health benefits?
That's
It's
very
good.
true.
It's good for your. Forget just tolerance. It's good for your.
well, you're resetting everything. You gotta recharge everything.
When I was
Yeah.
younger, I used to sleep a lot, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's why. Like, for me,
How many hours do you get now, Taj?
You guys act like you sleep a lot now. You don't sleep that much.
no,
do you?
I probably average between 5 and 6. That's
Yeah.
that's good for me.
It's no, and I don't sleep a lot either. But the difference is, I feel like you don't. That's a choice for you. If I could, I would get my 7 hours, 8
Yeah.
hours.
8 hours.
I
would be
just
great.
can't. You know, and I think you
long.
take pride in that, which I don't think is right.
It's just, 8 hours? It's so long.
Okay, so get 6, get 7.
I probably get like 4 or 5. That's
It's
pretty
not
good.
healthy.
You should be at 6.
Well, I think we should do a segment on it. Maybe we'll get a sleep expert one of these days because it's important. I think it's important for your overall well-being. Anyway, we're live on the Power of Love radio show. And if you're listening to us right now, thanks for joining us. We have our Twitter handle where you could tweet us.
Yes.
Taj, you want to give it?
It's at DDJ Foundation.
Okay. And of course you can call us. We have the phone number to call us is 323-203-0815. Again, it's 323-203-0815. And before I get into today's topic, let's discuss the week. How was your week, Terrell?
Week was okay. Baseball was. I think we didn't get lucky with the schedule. They scheduled a game Friday, Saturday, and Monday.
Yeah, it's tough.
And you got like limited pitching counts and stuff. We're the only team in the league that had Friday, Saturday.
Did you complain
Monday.
about that?
No.
Okay, good. I'm proud of you.
Well, whatever. What can you do?
You didn't complain to the league or
it
anything?
did. No.
Good. Don't complain.
It did. It happened to us last year too, but whatever.
It is.
But all teams make the playoffs, so we could have won easily 2 out of the 3 games, and we ended up losing 2 and tying 1.
All right.
But
it's a tough year so far.
It's very difficult.
But you know,
at this age, they're going through something.
But these tough years make the good years that much sweeter.
No, it's an age thing. They're going at this age. They're 8 and 9-year-olds. They're going through something.
Yeah, but every team has kids that are 8 and 9 that are going through things.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You just think your bunch is a little...
Well, I just don't think my bunch is really playing to their potential.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably playing where everyone else is.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Taj Jackson, your week?
My week was great. I saw the new Fast and the Furious.
Did you like it?
I really liked it.
How many have they had now?
8.
This is 8.
8?
Yeah, this Fate of the Furious. I did. It's very formulaic, but it works.
It's a what?
It has a formula.
Say it again.
Formulaic.
Why are you putting them? Well, he brought it up.
No,
How do you say the word?
What?
Is that how you say it? Formulaic?
I think so.
Say it with confidence, young man.
Oh.
Don't shy away
I'm
from
sorry
it.
if I'm using too big of words for you guys. It follows the formula. Is that better?
You know what, Taj? I saw it.
You saw it?
Actually, I saw it, and I saw him in line. So
did you guys
went
see
to
it together?
We didn't plan on going to see it together, but we ended up seeing it a row apart from each other.
Date night.
He was on date night.
And he hijacked
it. No, but we saw it, Saturday? I sure thought he would have seen it Thursday night or opening night or Friday, considering it was projected to be the biggest movie opening of all time. Actually, it wasn't projected, but it is the biggest movie opening
not of all time. Of the year.
Of all time.
Globally.
So it's bigger than any Star Wars opening. I don't know.
How?
Because people like cars and people like seeing things blown up.
That and China helped a lot with it as well. China box office. Star Wars didn't open in China till later.
Oh, okay.
No, but
because
still,
they open all at once.
But still, I mean, that's big props to Vin Diesel and to that whole crew, because seriously, they were saying about it that there wasn't it was all minorities that opened the movie. Basically, there wasn't a Caucasian lead, and that's always been Hollywood's excuse, is that
so it's big.
You need a Caucasian lead to do big globally, and this movie proved them wrong, which. It's always good because it opens the door, and it had F. Gary Gray directing it, who did NW. What was it called? Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah,
the Straight Outta Compton movie.
Yeah,
and so they had a black director as well, so that broke down barriers too, because there's talks that black directors can't do blockbusters, and there you go. So
cool.
No, it was pretty good. It's not my cup of tea, but. I mean, it was cool for what it is, movie. But it's one of those where it's like, oh my goodness. But if you like cars,
it's not realistic.
It has a James Bond aspect of it where it loses its reality base, but that's all of I've learned after I think the 5th one. I've seen them all. But
you said it right, Taj, and I'm going to attempt the word. It's formulaic. It's crazy because
is that even a word?
It sounds like it should be.
We're gonna have to look it up.
It starts with such a routine, predictable opening. Women walking around in clothes a drag racing or a street racing. It seems like I've seen that 5 times, and I've only seen 5 episodes or 5 editions of the movie. Yeah. But if you like cars, if you like the previous ones, I think you'll like this one as well.
It's about family.
So is it worth me seeing?
It's family. No.
No?
There's much better movies you should be watching. But that's enough of the Fate and the Furious.
Fast. Oh, is it called Fate?
It's called The Fate, right, Taj?
Hmm?
You paying attention? Or you know where we're
I'm
at?
looking up formulaic, okay? I can't.
Yeah,
do
it's
two
called The
things at
Fate and the
once.
Furious.
The Fate and the Furious.
Yeah.
All right.
My week. We had an Easter egg hunt, which was always fun. The kids like it. I'm trying to think what else. Saw the movie where I saw Taj ruin my plans. Seeing Taj, which is the bummer. I'm trying to think what else.
Easter
Just
was
busy.
the big thing.
Yeah, Easter was the fun
We
thing.
went to Auntie Lourdes'.
Yeah, that was great. Always good to go to Auntie
That
Lourdes
was,
and do that.
we played Uno.
Yeah, you played with the kids,
I
right?
played with the kids. That was fun. With Sandy.
And Sandy.
And
Yeah.
Dee Dee won, and Adrian won.
Cool.
And Bryce, I think Bryce won too. Your girls only played one game.
Yeah.
But that was fun.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
So it was good stuff.
No, Easter
Lots of
egg hunting at Auntie Lourdes is our little family staple, and it's a fun thing. And it's
Yeah.
good to see our mom's side of the family. Anyways, again, our phone number is 323-203-0815, and we, disclaimer, are not licensed therapists. We're just ordinary people who have experienced loss in our lives. We've been impacted by it, and we've learned from it, and we want to share our opinions in an attempt to help you overcome what you're going through. Saying that, if you need professional help, we urge you to seek it and to find it and to not just rely on us. So, the topic for today, last Friday, Carol, I know you watch a lot of sports, so I know you heard about this. But last Friday, there was a tragedy that happened with a former NFL player. It happened in Mesa, Arizona. The police in Mesa, Arizona confirmed last Friday that former Baltimore Ravens and Arizona Cardinals tight end Todd Heap accidentally hit and killed his 3-year-old daughter with his truck. The accident reported occurred on Heap's driveway. Unfortunately, the victim was taken to a local hospital where she later passed away. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but there was no suspicious circumstances to the incident, and that impairment does not appear to be a factor, so it doesn't look like it was alcohol or any drugs or anything. It was just, the way it seems, is a very, very sad and unfortunate accident that is just really devastating. A statement from Baltimore Ravens, who Todd Heap played for, was, "We cannot imagine the heartbreak and sorrow Todd and Ashley's family feels right now. This is knee-buckling news and an overwhelmingly sad tragedy. Our prayers, our thoughts, and our hearts are with the Heaps, who have contributed so much to the Ravens and Baltimore community. We believe their deep faith and tremendous support from friends and family will help them through this unimaginable time." So when I obviously heard about this and read about this, I felt incredibly bad for the family. I can only imagine the amount of pain and suffering the whole family's going through. A 3-year-old daughter to lose in that fashion is devastating. It's just really, really sad. And but I was trying to figure a way. How does he move on from this? How do you get past this, and can you get past this? Because I know, him being a football player, just really being any kind of protector of the family, he's probably battling this, with just going through battles all the time on how he let his family down and how he let his daughter, his precious daughter, down. So I was just thinking, how do you get over something like this where you have so much guilt and so much shame and so much pain, and in his eyes he probably feels like if he was focused or paying attention, he wouldn't be in this situation. So that's our topic, is how do you get over self-guilt? How do you forgive yourself? Have you went through an experience that was incredibly tough on yourself? And how did you get over it? How did you self-forgive yourself? How did you move past self-guilt? Obviously, the Heap situation is probably the most drastic form. But let's say you broke your younger brother's favorite toy. How did you overcome that? How did you make amends? How did you move on? That's our topic. It's self-guilt, overcoming it, and learning to forgive yourself.
Can I expand on it a little too?
Absolutely.
I think it's also important because he had a wife as well, and she's still alive, obviously, Ashley. But how do you forgive your partner too, or do you? I've heard of cases where something happens and someone is responsible, or not wanting to be, but responsible for a child's death, and then the partner, it's like sometimes the marriage doesn't last because they can't forgive that person, or every time they see that person, it reminds them of the tragedy. I know they had 5 kids, so it might be a different circumstance, but I've heard of that where it's like the marriage becomes doomed because of that. I don't think this is going to be the case, but I'm just saying that forgiving your partner as well is an important thing too.
Forgiving your partner is huge. It's huge because I think
there's already that self-guilt.
There's already that self-guilt, and I think anyone who's in a strong relationship, in a marriage, and in a long-term relationship has to think that way, because what I've learned in doing some research is that guilt is something that we're sometimes our hardest critics, and we're the ones that are going to beat ourselves up so much. And it's important. We put such a high placement on how we value ourselves, and sometimes we go too far. So as a partner, I think you have to you have to learn how to overcome that and get your significant other or even family member just on the right path. Give them some strength. It's crucial.
Well, it's there's a lot of trust in that too. She definitely, obviously we don't know what happened, but I can't imagine being in his shoes. I'm sure he feels horrible about it, and having her support is so needed. But that's not always the case, like Todd was saying, different circumstances. But you definitely need that support from, whether it's her, your wife, or your partner, or a friend. That's important.
So, how do you guys can you guys think of any scenarios where you screwed up, or no. Obviously not in this situation? Yeah, I know many times where you screwed up, but obviously not as tragic as this situation. But what are some of the steps you do to forgive yourself?
I'll start, I guess. Since for me, I'm very cautious of guilt. I think guilt can be very deadly to you. It can it adds stress, and stress is a killer. So for me, I try to live guilt free. Like, I really try. Obviously you do feel guilt for certain things, but guilt eats at you. And so for me, I really don't focus on it. I don't focus on guilt in that way, because you're giving it energy and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not guilty of anything, but at the same time, it's like, don't give it energy.
And I'm just going to echo what you said, because energy is everything, and guilt is one, emphasis, if not the strongest, in my opinion, of negative and destructive energy. How does guilt differ from remorse?
Remorse is, we're no experts, but remorse is, for me, like sorrow, just feeling bad. Guilt is feeling responsible in a way for something, and that to me is the big difference. When you feel guilty, you feel like you had a hand in it. While remorse, you could be sorry for something in terms of that it didn't happen the way you wanted it to happen, or that something happened. But guilt is...
But doesn't that kind of imply that guilt...
that you could have changed, like, in a way. You could have...
So you're feeling like guilt is your perception that it was preventable.
Or that you could have done something about it. I think that's... But even if you couldn't have, like... For instance, Mom's passing, like, I feel guilt that I didn't talk to her, when she called, in terms of I was trying to get off the phone because it was late. Like, she called really late at night, and I was tired, and I thought I'd see her tomorrow, the next day. And so I was like, okay, and I just wanted to go back to sleep. That there's a guilt there, because it's like, maybe if I talked to her longer, maybe, things would have been different, but that's a maybe.
So you claim you're the wisest of us three. What do you do?
I don't claim, yeah.
What do you do to overcome guilt?
For me, I just try and be positive. Like, positive counters negativity. So if you could be positive about something.
Oh, positive. What does that mean? That's an easy, like, give me a concrete thing you do.
Okay. So like if there's a death or something like that, I focus on the good things that person did in life, and I focus on always moving forward in terms of. So
if you were Mr. Heap, what would be your first step?
My first step would be to honor.
That's hard, man.
I know it is very hard, but at the same time, you can go into a black hole where you're basically reliving that nightmare over and over. He has kids as well, so it's at the same time, that's like, you don't want to get stuck in quicksand, or where you're going deeper and deeper. So for him, it is hard, because at the same time, society judges you if you
move too fast.
If you move too fast, then it seems like you didn't care, and so there is that double-edged sword there. But for me, I feel like this is, I hate to say it, but it's a lesson too. I understand what you're saying, because it's not easy to say that, Taj, but it is a lesson in the fact that he can talk. He could talk to others. He's already a prominent figure. Because others have probably lost.
Others have done it, and
that's what I meant. I didn't mean it.
No, I know.
Yeah, I know you did.
So I have to watch out for my older brother. But guilt it's difficult. It's a difficult burden to carry, and a lot of times, sadly, the feeling gets projected to those you love the most, the other people around you, and you're not even aware of it. You could be miserable, suffering and drowning in guilt, and just making life just horrible for everyone else. So we have to learn how to overcome guilt, and we have to learn that we can't live with guilt, because it's just a destructive force that where I feel like no positive energy can come from it. I know it's easier said than done, but I feel we have to figure a way to become guilt-free quicker.
I think guilt is also isolating, because you usually, when you feel guilty, you kind of isolate yourself from everyone else. You separate yourself, and that's what makes it even more destructive. And more, it's not like you feel guilty and you're around a lot of people, and it's always you feel guilty. You're at home, and you're kind of just. It's very destructive, as you said.
I don't mean to touch on this specific event with Heap, but is there different types of guilt? Is there guilt where it's validated, and then some where it's almost you put it on yourself? Because if there's guilt, then maybe it's validated. Not saying that you should live with the guilt, but then it becomes a thing of learning to accept it, and like you said, there's a lesson there, and to move on from it and to recover. Or there's the type of guilt where it's not really your fault, but you take the blame. Does that make sense?
We're going to take our first phone call.
Okay.
Let's see who we have on the line with us. Who do we got?
We got someone from Europe, Raisha.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
I wanted to touch on the subject of forgiveness of self. And I think it's one of the things that help me in general is by living in the moment. And by living in the moment, you're not thinking about too much about the future failure that you might go through, and you won't be too hung up on the past either. So I think one of the best things to do is try to live in the moment.
So when you say live in the moment, are you basically saying you try to make yourself active? You try to expand. What do you mean?
You try to keep yourself busy with things that you love to do, and also you just try not to dwell on the past too much. Like, don't wallow in self-pity, basically.
Yeah, I think you. Thank you so much for the call. And how
welcome.
How am I saying your name?
Raisha.
Raisha. Is that close?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Pretty close.
Where are you calling from, Raisha?
Good. I'm calling from Amsterdam.
Oh, cool.
At the moment.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, thank you for calling, Raisha, and thanks for your support.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think she hits a cool point. You know, I think making you're busy, because it's kind of like what you said before the call, Taj. You sometimes will isolate yourself, and I think life can slow down on you and come real dark. So I think Raisha's advice is great. You know, you gotta stay active. You gotta do something you love, and kind of stay busy. Now, my question is, playing devil's advocate, how do you make sure you grieve? Like, how do you make sure, where's that balance? Like, because if you're too active, if you don't want to ignore what happened or ignore the situation. But I think it kind of is one of those things where you have to measure depending on what happened. You know, in Todd's situation, Mr. Heap, I think he's going to be feeling guilt regardless, and he has to stay busy and be active with his family, because I just think I don't think a tragedy can get any harder for you. Where if you know, it's just a different level. So I think you have to kind of manage that. But I think regardless, you isolating yourself and destroying yourself is no bueno, and you have to figure out a way to not do that.
So for instance, I don't know, obviously, but I would think in his situation, it's more about acceptance and forgiveness. Yeah. You know?
When you say acceptance of the situation, and when you say forgiveness,
he's got to forgive himself. Yeah. He has to.
So I was looking at an article. I didn't write the article, but I was reading it, and there was 4 steps to self-forgiving. I don't really think these are pertaining to something like this. I think it's pertaining to more if you screwed up and you want to apologize or you know, that kind of thing. But step 1 was don't get rid of guilt, which is kind of opposite everything we've said to this point. And again, this is just an article online. And the reasoning is because when you feel bad when something is done wrong, you naturally it could be useful.
Like,
you know,
you won't repeat it.
Yeah, like you've learned from it. Where if you do something wrong and you feel no guilt, then you're not really learning. You know, you're ignoring the fact that you messed up. You know, and it's kind of an interesting thing, because another article I read was something about humility and how you shouldn't have humility or something like that. It was a link between guilt and humility, where basically I think if you feel guilty, it's good because then you're being humble. Where if you aren't humble about it, if you just ignore what you've done, as someone who has no humility would do, then you know you're not feeling guilt. Yeah. But I understand the point, but I think I disagree with it. What do you guys think?
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
I think you need I forget what show it was, but someone talked about you always keep the feeling. You know what I mean? Because that's where you go back to it. That's where it's in your memory bank. So that's natural. It's natural to feel guilty and have that. I think what's important is the way you act and how you respond to that. Yeah. You have to have a level of forgiveness. You know, you'll always blame yourself for certain things, but you have to be able to accept it and to move on from it.
And I think you're right on, Terrell, because moving on is key. And I think you said it right, though, because I think you do have to, I should say it like this, I think you can't allow yourself to be guilty for a short period of time, so that it hits home and you know, you I don't want to say drown in that sorrow, but a short, incredibly, I think it should be a day, 2 days.
I think that's maximum.
Maximum. And if it's
very short,
if it's something smaller, you know, breaking your little brother's toy, maybe an hour, 2. But something like Todd Heap's situation, where he drove over his daughter and ended up killing her, I think 2 days is understandable. You can't let him. He learned the lesson within a second, and he doesn't need that. But that level of tragedy, I think, it takes time.
Oh, it's definitely gonna take time.
And in that situation, I don't think not getting rid of guilt is the proper advice.
No, so it's going to always be there.
Yeah,
it's not possible, but it's how he lives with it, how he accepts it, and moves on from it.
Moving on, we have advice number 2. It says own up.
Wait, can we go back? Repeat. Number 1 was
don't get rid of guilt.
Don't get rid of guilt.
But I'm not sure about that one. Okay. And like everything, you got to challenge and think about things.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm not. And if anyone listening agrees with that, please let us know.
I don't even know if you could, if something happens that tragically, it's going to always be there. So it's just saying don't.
But it's saying that's okay. That's good.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. So I would focus on getting rid of it because it's still going to be there no matter what. It's still going to be lingering.
Yeah. Maybe this list is pertaining to more small, trivial things. Like if
well, maybe it means don't get rid of guilt like 100%. It's good to still have that feeling.
I don't know, man. Yeah. I think in this case, when there was a huge accident, getting rid of guilt 100% would be a goal.
And that'll never happen. Okay.
And it'll probably never happen. So but if it could happen, I think that's the best thing for him and his family is if he could get rid of the guilt 100%.
Okay.
But and it's very unlikely. But I do think that would be the best thing for him because it's tough. But anyway, number 2 was owning up.
Okay.
You have to own up because self-forgiveness can sometimes be code for avoiding culpability, kind of like what we discussed earlier. And what you were saying, Cheryl, where you have to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say, I did this and learn from it, and you have to own it. You have to own it. Number 3 is you have to make amends.
Okay.
In Mr. Heap's case, I don't think that's possible. I don't think anything in his mind can make amends. But you have to find a way in your brother's toy situation where you break his favorite toy. You can make amends. You can buy him another one. You can buy him his new favorite toy. You could take him out for ice cream. But in Mr. Heap's situation, how do you make amends?
Okay.
How would you guys make amends?
Well, the thing is it was obviously an accident. It wasn't something he was trying to do. It was something, if he could, he'd take back in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 100% an accident.
Yeah.
And
so instead of saying making amends, let's how do you get the positive out of it? How do you make this a positive situation? And I don't think Mr. Heap can make this a positive situation because he, his young little girl is not going to ever be here. Mm-hmm. on this earth, and he's not going to share any more precious moments in this lifetime with her.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you make this a positive thing?
I mean, well, he knows how he feels. He knows his love for his daughter, and obviously he knows that he didn't mean to do it. It doesn't make it better. Doesn't make it easier for him.
What can he do to make as much positivity out of this?
This is just. When I read it, I put myself in his shoes, and I couldn't.
I think he's got to do talks. He's got to go around, maybe even write a book. And this is what I can't stand about our society. You ready?
I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
Then say it.
You're going to say by doing that, people are going to say that he's capitalizing.
Yeah. And that really upsets me. I knew you knew what I said. That's why I let you say it.
Yeah.
But, if he wrote a book overcoming the biggest nightmare of my life, people are going to slam him. A lot of people, at least in the American culture, they're going to say he's trying to make money, his career's over, he's dried up, and I can't stand that. I guess that's just the ugly side of humanity. But there's so many people he could touch in a positive way by writing that book, and also by writing it out. I think it will really benefit him.
Yeah.
But he can give speeches. He could go on talks. He could do a great foundation in his daughter's name, rally his family around it. And I think that's the way he has to eventually think. And if he has a strong family like it is, I assume he does, and what I'm seeing, hopefully that's the way he's going to go. But he can't just stay inactive.
Mm-hmm.
And number 4, which I obviously again doesn't apply to this situation, but you have to foster empathy for the victim. Research has found that self-forgiveness is negatively associated with empathy for victims. Again, I don't understand that, but as self-forgiveness increases, empathy tends to decrease. Does that have to be the case?
Can you say that last line again, please?
Yeah. As self-forgiveness increases, empathy tends to decrease. What's your Taj, Terrell? What do you guys? Does that seem accurate to you?
So real quick, the first one was to not get rid of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was
own up.
The third one, how many was there? 4?
4.
The third one was
make amends.
And fourth
is foster empathy for the victim.
And you found
this is crazy because this is when I googled self-forgiveness, how to self-forgive yourself. This is what came up, and to me it seems very anti-self-forgiving.
Yeah, it
seems like basically it's like if you gonna self-forgive yourself, then you can't be empathetic to the victim, which I don't agree with.
Yeah. Wait, it's saying what now?
It's saying if you forgive yourself,
okay,
then you can't technically be as empathetic to the one you hurt. You can't technically feel as bad for the person you hurt if you forgive yourself. And I don't know if I agree with that. But I'll let you guys think about that. We got a caller on the line. Who do we have with us?
This is Julie. I'm the lady that's from Arkansas that had called here a while back about my daughter being in jail, raising my grandchildren.
Yes, how are you?
Every day is a struggle.
Yeah.
And the whole music heals kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of messed up and bought drums.
Oh,
I'm not sure it was a good idea.
No, it's a great idea.
Drums?
It's a great
Really?
idea. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Not real sure.
Why, you're not getting much sleep?
Because we have this whole Nicki Minaj thing going on. Kind of, No.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
But my thing is I believe the man should write a book.
Yeah.
I believe that I missed part of the show. Who cares what this world thinks? It's all messed up, and Donald Trump, it's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he should surround himself with more positive things. That's what I've kind of done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People that are going to lift him up, not bring him down, because he can't go back and change anything.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people go back from the past and just keep on and on and on holding it, and guilt will just tear you apart.
Yeah.
And I believe he should talk. He should get out and talk to people, and maybe it'll help somebody else. I mean, like I said, I missed part of the show, but all he can do is move forward.
So let me ask you this question, because, and I'm going to get personal on you. And I remember your story. No. I forgot your name. So can you remind me your name? Julie. I'm going to get a little personal on you, because I remember your situation, and I've thought about your situation. How do your daughter's in jail, and you are basically raising her kids for her, and she's going to be in jail for quite some time. Is that all correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So Taj mentioned before, our topic was on self-forgiveness, overcoming guilt. And then Taj added something to it, was basically how it's important for the loved one in the situation where we were talking about Todd Heap, who killed his daughter by accident. It's important for his wife to forgive Todd as well, because she may have a strong sense of what's the word I'm looking for, Taj? A strong sense of anger towards and resentment towards Todd. So I'm going to ask you in your situation, because your situation is actually relatively similar to me, because I would assume you have a lot of anger or resentment towards your daughter. How do you...
I do, and I have guilt and it's not even my guilt, but I feel guilty.
How do you feel guilty?
I don't know. I just feel like I should have done something different. And I've raised both my children right. Mm-hmm. They've been brought up in church. I've not listened to music that is, gang-related or drugs or, violence. I don't do that kind of, I'm more of a Michael Jackson, Diana Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Marvin Gaye. They've not heard bad things, but I still feel like I've done, I don't know. I feel like I should have done better.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel more self-guilt or more like anger towards your daughter?
Anger. I feel a lot of anger.
Okay. My personal opinion, again, I'm not a therapist. Didn't go to school for this, but you have to stop with the self-guilt. I haven't talked, I've talked to you this just short time, a couple of times on the show. Never met you, Julie, but I could tell you're a strong person. You're a great person. You have great choice of music. But
of course, you can never go wrong with Michael Jackson. Ever.
But my point is, you did the best you can, and you could tell you're a person of love. And sometimes our loved ones make the wrong choices, and choices we don't understand, we'll never understand, and you're not alone. And there's many of us who have, yeah, I know, but there's many of us who have something similar, even me, There's choices I made from a parenting aspect that, a child of mine is struggling now, and I have to think, is this because of me? Was this my fault? Should we not have done this? Should we not have done that? And to me, that's
what I feel.
Yeah, but you did the best you could, and I it's tough, but you've done the best you could. You did the best what you had to work with, and you're learning from it, and you got to grow from it, and you got to share it with your kids when they become parents, or your grandchildren when they become parents, and just teach. Just make your whole family stronger, and sometimes there's going to be a good thing at the end. You just have to be strong, learn from it, and just keep practicing your love.
Well, I've kept them occupied with softball. We're big baseball fans.
Love it.
So we play a lot of softball and sports and soccer. So I've kept both of them kind of occupied with that, so they kind of let go of crying all the time. But
yeah,
I still cry every night.
Yeah, well, I wish I could help you more, Julie, because I think we said this last time. You got to be that strong force for them. You can't be beating yourself down. Because like I started the show, your self-esteem is crucial, and if you're not strong, you're not going to be able to be strong for them. So you have to find a way to get rid of any guilt that you have, and be that strong person, that confident person for the babies. My take.
Well, I try.
But I
go to bed, like I said, I cry every night, and then I get up with a smile on my face and get them ready, fix the breakfast.
Good.
But then
Yeah. But just you just got to learn from all your choices, all your decisions. But you can't think of your daughter's mistake as your mistakes. I'm not there. I don't know your life that well, but I can't see that. I don't know. I just can't see that. So you got to be strong.
So don't get rid of the drums or get rid of the drums.
Do not get rid of the drums. That's for sure. And don't get rid of the drums, and don't get rid of baseball or anything, because all that activity.
Well, baseball we can't get rid of. That's a Southern thing. We kind of love baseball.
It. And it's funny because
eat, sleep, and breathe it.
You don't even have a professional team out there in Arkansas, do you?
No, we don't. Yeah. But I'm a big Dodgers fan. I was like, I actually moved from LA when I was like 5. So I'm like a big Dodgers fan.
And you have a strong accent too. I love it. But Julie,
I do not say y'all. I heard that on one of your shows. That's kind of like you all smashed together like y'all, and that's ridiculous. I mean, it's just weird.
Nothing wrong with saying y'all.
I like y'all.
Okay. Yeah. But thank you so much, Julie, for your phone call.
Okay,
and take care of yourself, okay? And stay strong.
Yes, you can.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye. That's tough.
Very tough.
That's tough.
We have a Twitter question.
Let's hear
it. How do you? This is from Donna, and she's asking, how do you make amends when the people who hurt you, they're not sorry, or they don't take ownership for the things that they do?
Well, that's kind of backwards, isn't it? Because amends would be if you'd made the mistake, you gotta fix it.
Mm-hmm.
In Donna's question, she's saying, how do you fix something?
Like she's asked, she also says, like, how do you get closure from that?
Closure.
Like, yeah, that was her.
Okay, so it's pretty much how
you
you
interrupted the.
I thought you were finished.
No, you just jumped in.
You said Twitter, and that you were way past your 34 characters. So, so basically, how do you get closure?
Yeah, well, yeah. How do you, if someone does something to you and they're not sorry, and you're waiting for them to be sorry, basically, but they're not owning up to it. You're just kind of going in a circle, basically. Yeah. At that point, and what I would tell Donna, since she probably should have asked me that directly, is you're never going to get closure from that if you expect it from the person. You have to realize that I don't want to say just move on, but at the same time, it's one of those things that eats up at you. We're talking a lot about eating up, things that you're holding on to, whether it's a past or whatever. Those kind of things eat up at you. And if something eats up at you, it's slowly destroying you. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. So it's like I always try and get rid of it quickly, that feeling. And however way I can, whether it's watching something or thinking of something else or focusing on something else, it's just that trying to wait for it, it constantly eats up at you.
So so you have to just get rid of. That's basically the theme of the show.
Don't wait for someone else to give you that green light in terms of she's waiting for someone to Well,
that's I was going to say it's control. You can't.
You can only control yourself. You can only control
yourself. Your happiness on someone else. Meaning they can't make you happy.
So a lot of this is again self-infliction, pretty much.
Yeah, a lot of things.
The only person you can control is yourself. So.
All right, we have a phone call. Who do we have on the line with us?
Hi, this is Gigi Taylor calling.
How are you, Gigi?
I'm doing good. I kept calling and hanging up because I wanted to hear the lady that was calling. I was like, I can't call in with my stuff because I was so feeling for her, the prior caller. So, but anyhow, regarding overcoming guilt, I just wanted to share something of mine with you guys and everybody.
Yes.
So one situations was the guilt was kind of like, I guess a false guilt. So I was having major guilt because my son takes care of me when my medical condition is not in remission. So the guilt was making me depressed to the point where I had to seek professional help because I felt if I wasn't here anymore, then he didn't have to take care of me. Meaning I wasn't like planning to commit suicide, but the thoughts were just so overwhelming. Like if I really wasn't here, I wouldn't be a burden. And it was getting very overwhelming. The guilt, it was just like, I am the mom and I need to be not sick. He shouldn't have to cook. He shouldn't have to do all the grocery shopping. He shouldn't have to help me in the shower. He was doing everything.
And Gigi, how old was your son?
Pardon?
How old was your son when he started doing this?
When he started doing it, he was 20.
Wow.
And he was in college full-time, working and taking care of me. When my medical condition's not in remission, I have to have surgery and I'm in the hospital for at least sometimes 2 weeks. So not only that, he was a full-time college student, which he did graduate. He was working part-time, and then he would stay in the hospital with me. Stay in the hospital and drive back and forth.
So how did you get over feeling self-guilt?
Well, what I did was when I sought professional help, how my psychologist helped me was to basically say, it's not my fault that I'm ill, and I do need help. And also my son was brought in. And with his reassurance to say, Mom, I love you. I want to take care of you. He's like, you're not a burden. I love you. You're my mom. I want to care for you. That was huge.
For you to hear and see.
Oh, my goodness. And he's like, and I'm not just saying this to put myself on a pedestal, but when your child tells you, you are a good mom, you raised me right, I love you, it's not like I'm just going to be blunt with you guys. There's some parents, or I'm just speaking mothers because I'm a mother, that don't care about their kids, are hoeing around or have problems here or there, and their kids resent them. And that wasn't the case. My son's like, I love you, Mom. His heart, believe it or not, he was feeling guilty because he couldn't help me. Because he can't hear me and it was just. So what I'm trying to say is that was like a false sense of guilt.
Yeah, right.
That I'm glad. But you know what I'm trying to say. So
but that's to me that false sense of guilt is understandable. I completely would be able to relate to you if I felt like my 20-year-old child had to kind of pause their life to take care of me, or I was getting in the way. And I think your son is an outstanding person and human being, and as a young man, I kind of can relate to that, because as young men, I think my brothers and I would agree, is that there's a sense of and all men really, there's a sense of wanting to help your maternal figure. And I think, as a good parent I think you set that love up between that, and there's a strong bond, and he just wants to repay you,
And that's what was in counseling, that's what he was saying. And you know how we know our children love us, and obviously he was 20 and he's 22 now. And I had a relapse in September, and I was in the hospital for 5 days and had surgery, and I was supposed to be in remission, and unfortunately I'm not in remission. I'll be having surgery May 10th. I'll be in the hospital during Mother's Day, but he's going to be there again. We're going to celebrate Mother's Day in the hospital. I mean, and there's times where I still feel like the guilt still tries to creep, and he reminds me, just like yesterday, he hugged me and said, I love you. You're going to make it. This is my 18th surgery. He's all, you're gonna be here again, and I'm here for you, and I love you, and I want to take care of you. And I mean, it's just like that guilt goes away and goes, okay, I'm here. I'm here, and I don't have to feel guilty. My son wants to help me. I'm not taking away from anything from him, because you're right. I don't want to feel like I'm taking. Yeah. I am taking a little bit apart of what he can normally do as a 22-year-old. Yeah. But again, he's still graduated college. He's still working. He's going back to school next year because he wants to be a nurse.
That's
awesome.
And so... See, and you can even maybe look at it this way. I mean, what you went through, he naturally wanted to help and care for you, and it brought him a stronger sense of completeness in his own self. A stronger sense of worth that probably contributed to his wanting to be a nurse himself, you know?
That's what my psychologist said. By the way, this is TJ, right?
Yes,
speaking right now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, TJ. Yes, that's what... hi, Taj. Hi, Carol.
No, but it's true. So, you know, that's another thing.
Yes, it's true.
You may have played a role in getting him in his profession, which is... For a 22-year-old, a lot of kids don't know what they want to do. So
that's what he said. Yes.
You know, so
and just real quick, if I could just say something, it's kind of hard, like when like you're talking, and then I don't know when to stop talking because there's a little delay. So I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you. Another thing was that my psychologist said, and my son agreed because he was with me at one session, is that when this kind of started, my son was 16, he even said that him taking care of me and the things that he's had to do has helped him as a man to, and I was like, wow, meaning he learned how to cook. He learned how to cook. He learned how to do his laundry. He learned, I'm getting emotional, but how to be gentle.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
For a woman. Not as like, you know what I'm saying? Of course, a girl is different, but he just said, how to be gentle and understanding and patient towards, helped him to care for a woman. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. That's his words. And I just was floored with that. And I'm like, okay, wow. So even though I felt guilt, like I should be helping to raise him, but while I was sick, I was helping him. Yeah. And for him to say that, it helped my guilt as well.
Yeah.
So
awesome,
I don't mean to keep any longer, but that's just, I think for anyone that, you know, has to depend on somebody, whether it's your son or, you know, family, because of an illness, or even if it's a cold, you know, when you're sick as a parent, you know, you still want to be the parent and handle business, but you have to be taken care of. It's kind of hard. I think anyone would agree. So I just wanted to share that. I had another story, but I've been on way too long.
Yeah, we have to run, Gigi, but thank you so much for your phone call. I just wanted to share that. Awesome. Thank you, Gigi, and take care. And give your son a big pound from 3T, because he's a heck of a man, and tell him we're proud of him.
Thank you, guys.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, Gigi. I think Gigi hit some point. We have some more callers that we're not going to be able to get to because of time, but I think Gigi hit an important point. Is it in a case where the person is still alive and you're feeling guilt, or you feel guilt that you've affected their life in a negative way, I think it's important to have that conversation and to communicate with them. And I think a lot of times we naturally beat ourselves up more than what's needed. And in Gigi's case, I think her son actually got a lot of value in taking care of his mom and matured faster, and is probably one of the strongest 22-year-olds out there, definitely in his area. And he's the most mature and the most ahead of the game. So in a way, Gigi provided a great value for him. You know, I'm proud of her for not feeling that guilt anymore. But I think the key is that we got to talk with those that we may have guilt or be angry with, and we got to just communicate more. Todd, you want to say anything?
That also, she was very smart in getting professional help.
Yeah,
and I think that opened the door for the communication.
Absolutely.
I do have a Twitter, real quick.
Yeah.
Tiffany wants us to say happy birthday to Danny.
Happy birthday, Danny.
It's on Sunday. It's on Sunday, but we're not going to be here.
We're not going to be here, so happy birthday.
I like to do the request if I can.
Okay. Terrell, would you want to?
Cool.
That
was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's it. I think the main lessons are, you got to figure a way to end guilt. That's my opinion. And sadly, one of the first articles I looked up was basically saying to have guilt, and I don't understand that. Maybe there is a professional reason for it, but the layman over here doesn't really understand that. And guilt, in my opinion, is a very negative thing, and I think a lot of times if you can, pretty much all the time, if you can get rid of it, you get rid of it. And a lot of times just communication.
Cool.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. If you found our program helpful and can afford to do so, please go to ddjf.org and support the foundation. Any donation helps. You can text the letters DDJF to 41444 and set up a continuous, even if it's $1, set up a continuous payment to the foundation. It's tax deductible. It would be great. And that's pretty much it. But we will see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m. And have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Adios. Thank you for listening to The Power of Love. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Support for our Power of Love radio show comes from a variety of generous donors, including supporters from institutions, individuals, and corporations through the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. DDJF is a nonprofit 501c3 organization.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Power of Love radio show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Power of Love, sponsored by the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. I am TJ Jackson, and I'm here with my two brothers, Terrell Jackson.
What's up, everyone?
And Taj Jackson.
Hello.
Taj Jackson. How you guys doing?
What's going on?
Doing well.
Yeah? Everything all right?
Yeah.
How was your weeks? We're going to get right into it. How are the weeks?
Baseball update?
No.
Still losing.
Still losing?
We have a game today against I want to say the last place team, but we're the last place team, so I can't.
You only have one direction to go, though.
We should win.
You can only go up.
I learned that there's two directions now. You can either go up or you can stay exactly where you are. We've been staying where we are. But we should win.
Okay.
Should win. I can't give them any more speeches. I'm
You're out of it. You tapped out.
I can't tell them anything.
You've hit all the inspirational speeches you can.
Yes. I mean, I reached back into my little private box of speeches. I have nothing else. I'm just going to say, guys, go out there and have fun.
Besides baseball, Terrell, how was your week?
Music's good. I'm doing music.
There's only
baseball
two.
Music. That's all I got, man.
No movies, nothing?
No, I don't do movies. It takes too long.
TV shows?
I love the playoffs right now. I don't watch much TV anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. Me too.
I watch maybe one or two shows. I can't do the. I'll catch what is that? Prison Break once in a while, but I don't want to watch it out of sequence. I can't. There's too many good shows out there, and I can't get into one of them. I actually don't want to start one because I don't want to start liking it, and then you got to get suckered into not suckered, but then you're stuck having to watch all of it. So I just stay with my sports.
Sports, Taj. I know you're not staying with sports. What are you up to?
Basically TV shows. Been watching some TV shows and seen that many movies recently.
What's the big TV show?
I watch a lot of CW.
Yeah, what's up with that, Taj?
It's superhero stuff, man. Like Flash, Supergirl.
Are they still new episodes?
Yeah, they just started again. Pretty Little Liars.
It's funny though because as he's saying this, you see a glow and a smile on his face.
I'm like the demographic I think of like young teenage girls.
Seriously, you're excited, man.
Yeah. I don't know. You didn't think I watched Pretty Little Liars,
kidding when I
but
say
it's
this.
like, yes.
I'm not kidding when I say this. You have like a glow in your eyes when you're talking about Pretty Little Liars.
Well, it's just started again.
So you're excited.
Pretty Little Liars?
It's, you know what it is? I think it's, remember when we were younger and we'd see mom watching soap operas?
Okay.
It's kind of like that.
That's what you watch?
So
are you saying
it's so off the wall and dramatic and like, but it's a storyline and it's like once you start following it, you're kind of addicted to it. So it's kind of, it doesn't make sense at times and it's like so surreal, but it's my guilty pleasure. I like that. I mean, I like that better than reality shows because I feel like with reality shows, you're kind of you're rewarding people for like usually the ones that act the worst get the most attention, and then you give them the viewership, and you're rewarding that, and so more people do that.
So you're trying to protest?
No, I like scripted because scripted, you know, they're a character.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How was your week, T?
It was good. It was normal. I don't really remember. I don't have a good memory anyway, but it's been a lot. But what I'm excited for today, I have a college meeting with Royal at a school.
Ooh.
So we're gonna.
This is one of the potentials.
Well, it's with the college counselor to talk about
which
options and how he's going about doing it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm probably more excited than him, but it's just a reminder, you know, that kids get older and he's about to start the next phase of his life. But all is good. He's doing well.
Does he know which ones he wants to go to, or is he kind of like he doesn't?
We've visited a couple.
Wait, hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
This is a very important question.
Yeah.
Are you trying to spearhead? Are you letting him kind of guide? Because I know you, and I know him.
Yeah. So good question. I am not really trying to spearhead as like I thought I would be the one to like control everything in a sense. And not only for his benefit, obviously not for me. Yeah, I don't try to live through my kids.
Yeah, really. I know.
But you know, for instance, Roy wants to be an astronomer.
Yeah.
And then you know, but that would be one of the least things I'd pick for him. But that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's going to change. Personally, I still think that's just his young imagination taking it, which is cool. But you know, he's come to the conclusion. I always told myself actually I wanted my boys to go to the East Coast and my girls to stay local. That was always my thought. Seriously, as
I think it's going to be flipped.
And it was you're probably right, but it was because you know I didn't go to college as a youngster, but when my friends did, I would go out there and say, "There's no way I want my girls in this environment." Yeah. And for the boys, it was like a lot of fun, you know, and it was a good experience because they're learning and seeing different cultures and different places. But Royals kind of changed that. I think Prince helped him, to be honest, by staying local. Yeah. So he wants to stay local.
Did he ever want to go?
I don't know. Well, the first time I started talking to him, his answer was like, I like what Prince did and just stay close.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like a SoCal, kind of like you guys actually. Now that I'm looking at you, you guys are the same.
We started the trend.
So he wants to stay local, like his family, but it's good. He's slowly maturing and you know he's growing up.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So. All right, well, we're going to have open phone lines today. We have a couple of topic ideas that we're going to discuss, but we're going to have open phone lines. So real quick, one thing I want to do is, and I know this is something we would normally do at the end, but we had a tweet come in from Taj. Why don't you go ahead and give everyone the Twitter, just so we have it.
Okay, it's at Dee Dee J Foundation.
That's it? You want to do the other ones too?
Yeah. I'm sorry. So Twitter is at DDJ Foundation. Facebook is DEE Jackson Foundation. And Instagram is at DEE Jackson Foundation. And the website is www.ddjf.org.
Very good. www.ddjf.org.
And the phone number to call in.
For the donations? Is that the one you're trying to
No.
Oh, that's at the end.
Yeah, that's at the end.
My fault. Sorry. Phone number to call in to contribute to the show.
Yeah, to contribute.
At the beginning.
Really? The donation? No, it may confuse people.
Yeah.
All right. So the phone number to contribute is 323-203-0815. Again, it's 323-203-0815. We're going to have open calls, open lines where you can pretty much call in and talk about whatever. Talk about what you've learned from the show, what you haven't learned, what you wish we would do more of. You could talk about an experience you had last week, yesterday, today, last year that you want to share that you think would be helpful for other listeners to hear. It's open phone lines, which means you call in and you talk about what you need to talk about. And you can also contribute to our topic. But before we get to our topic, a shout out to Jennifer Kreitz. I hope I'm saying that right. Jennifer tweeted DDJF. She tweeted that she made a really brave step. She enrolled at community counseling today, and she starts therapy next week.
Oh, wow.
So, and she's nervous, but we just wanted to give you a shout out, Jennifer, because it's great to hear that you're doing that. And yes, you're brave, you're courageous, and actually you're strong for doing that. I was always under the impression growing up that if you go to therapy, you're weak. But I actually think it's the other way around. If you go to therapy, you're actually strong because you're admitting something is off and something needs to be worked on. And so I just wanted to give you a nice little shout out and let you know we're here supporting you and we're with you.
I think that's a good point too, Jay. I think it really it takes a strong person to get help.
Mm-hmm.
People think, oh, you're weak because you're getting help, and from what I've seen, and asking help is strength.
Yeah,
and because not many people can do it, and so I really commend people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Commend for sure. Terrell Jackson, we're going to start with your idea of the topic.
Well, last week we were talking a little bit about sports, and we ran out of time. So there's this player, Isaiah Thomas, who his sister passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry,
was this recent or like? Was this recent? Sorry,
I love you.
Multitasking
it was within the last 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
But it's playoffs. He plays for the Boston Celtics, and his sister passed, and we were talking
the
about
night before Game 1
Yes.
of the playoffs, which is the time of the season when everything matters.
Mm-hmm.
And he is their best player. So
he's
go
their
ahead.
best player. But we started talking about it. A lot of people were questioning, should he play? Is he going to play? And we just thought that would be a good topic. Is he required to play because it's quote unquote his job?
Yeah.
Should he be forced to play? Does he have to play? When is it the right time for him to come back to play if he chooses not to play? And then we also were talking briefly about it. Some players play, and they do very well, such as Brett Favre.
Yeah,
he played. I think it was his father, right? Passed away
father,
earlier
and
in the week.
It was a Monday night football game. Right?
Yes,
I remember that.
Yes, and he set records.
I remember that.
So we were thinking about, and it goes on beyond sports. I mean, there's obviously we do music, so it goes beyond sports. Should an artist cancel a show, or what's the right thing to do?
What's the protocol? But it's even like you said, beyond sports and beyond music, because there's people out there that have jobs, maybe doctors that have surgeries and stuff, lawyers that have cases, things like that. So you never know when life will strike you. And then the question is, how do you respond? Have you went through something where you had to respond, or how did you handle your own situation?
And it's difficult because a lot of times if you're a dentist or a doctor or whatever it may be, they may give you a certain amount of time, a week, 2 weeks, I don't know what it is, but how do you get back into it?
How do you get back?
Is that enough time?
How do you get back into your groove?
Yeah, into your groove.
So, and what's interesting, I think everyone is different, and I think what's very important, social media will always have. Taj always says this. They always has the people that are just going to knock you and talk crap about you. So if you look on social media, I'm saying if I were Isaiah Thomas and I elected to play, I'm sure those people that social media that would be being cruel. But I think the important thing is it's your call, and it's what makes you feel better. He may need to be with his family. He may need to be on the court playing basketball. That may be his escape, his relief, something that will help settle him in. And his first 2 games, they're at game 5 now, but for his first 2 games, you could tell he was quite dazed. He wasn't, understandably, he wasn't all the way there. He wasn't tuned in. no one was giving him any flack, as they shouldn't have, but it was just interesting to watch because literally the day before, his young sister at 22, I think, died in a car accident. That was, obviously a shock. And he, like we've been saying, he was the leader of the team, an MVP of the whole league candidate, and the Celtics lost both games that they were supposed to win at home. And it was just one of those things that were going to end a sad incident would end a magic season. I'm happy to say that game 3 and 4 they won. So although they lost game 1 and 2, they tied the series,
and they're the number 1 seed.
So now game 5 I think is tonight.
Yeah.
When we started this topic, it wasn't to plug a basketball game on tonight, but the point is he's back in Boston now. Game 5, he's played all 4 games, and now we're maybe 2 weeks removed from the incident, and he's starting to play like himself. Yeah. But it's just interesting to see what this whole thing has done to his healing process.
Yeah, I was looking online, and this was about, I don't know if it was a year ago or whatever, but Vanessa Hudgens, her father.
What's her name?
Hudgens.
TJ.
Hudgens.
Don't let him do that to you.
It's Hudgens.
How do you pronounce it?
It's Hudgens.
How do you do that?
Hudgens.
He's not sure.
He fell for it too. That was like,
well, because I don't know the right pronunciation.
Todd, you haven't figured it out. I try to do that to you almost once a show.
I'm trying to keep this entertaining, TJ. I don't mind.
You take it with pride, though, Todd. Yeah. I got to give it to you.
Someone's got to be the comic relief over here.
Okay, go ahead. So what happened to Miss Vanessa Hudgens?
Her father died of cancer literally hours before she was supposed to do Grease Live. So it was a live performance. She had been practicing, and her father was ill. And on Twitter, she said, "Please pray for my father. He's not doing well." And then literally he died basically like hours before, and it's a live performance.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know about Grease Live, but they do
that's the televised
that's a televised one. So all those hours that people put in. And what I thought was interesting was that she tweeted right before she went on, she said, "Tonight I do the show in his honor." And remember how I was talking about doing things in people's honor, because there's 2 ways you can look at it. You can do it to make them proud, or you can kind of, and I think she took that route. That's not always the route that, worked for other people, but she did take that route, and it was a successful show. It was a successful TV show, or TV special.
Todd, I'm happy you brought that up. And for the record, it's Vanessa Hudgens.
Hudgens?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got me saying Hudgens.
You know why? Because I not confused her, but I mixed up her name with the guy from, what's it called? Hunger Games.
You lost me already, man.
How do you spell that? Hudgen?
Hudgens.
Yeah, Hudgens.
The thing is that because you guys watch a lot of sport, I don't watch sports, so I like to always throw some other curveballs in there in terms of
So, Taj, I appreciate you telling us this. So I didn't even know about it, and it was interesting. She put. So was the message? Was it a statement she made, or was it? Do you remember?
She tweeted. This is what she tweeted. Yeah. She said, "I am so sad to say that last night my daddy Greg passed away from stage 4 cancer. Thank you to everyone who kept him in your prayers." And that was basically. And then she said, "Tonight I do the show in his honor."
Wow.
Like that was the next tweet.
Right. And then I saw she had a tweet out. I don't know if it was before or after. It's actually an Instagram post where she put, I'm curious to know when she posted this, but it says, "I wish heaven had visiting hours." It's a really...
that's a great quote.
Yeah, I never heard that one, but that's a cool one. And, like you said, Taj, Grease Live on television where literally... tens of millions of people. You can't have a bigger stage and a more already nervous state, because she's got to remember all the lines. This whole big production is counting on. It's like a flow. So if you mess up a line or mess up something, you affect the whole outcome, and it's live. And there's no going back. And I couldn't even imagine having to do that, hearing that kind of news. So I've gained a lot, more pride and respect for her. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Well, I have a quick question.
Yes.
For the listeners, like if you were at a concert or something, like what would you expect from the artist if you found out that their sister, brother, mother, father passed away hours before? Because, you know, some people are like, well, I paid for this ticket, you know, you better perform. Like, would you be understanding, you know, the show was canceled?
Todd, anyone who has that mentality,
it happens though.
I know it happens. I know. I'm not saying that.
I'm foreshadowing my part of the segment, you know, in terms of, but
it's sad. There are people out there that would disagree and feel, and you know, and it's interesting because I've heard people say and feel that the show must go on.
Yeah.
You know, the show must go on, and she's a professional. Yeah. She needs to do this and that, which is understandable, and I get that side, but at the same time, we're not them. You know, we don't walk in each other's shoes, so we have to be respectful when these kind of situations hit. We got to be incredibly respectful and open to how others are going to treat it and their actions.
Do you think that some people just don't, they don't, because they haven't experienced it themselves?
Yeah.
Like I feel like some people, the ones that do understand are the ones that have lost someone and they know what that feeling's like, so they understand it, while the ones that haven't are
I think many who understand have lost someone, but I'm not going to say most. I think even people who haven't had that significant loss can be understanding. If they come from a strong family, they could sympathize.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool, though. So that's our first topic that we're going to take calls on, and it leads into a second. You know what? We're going to take a phone call now.
Let's take a phone call now.
Let's break it up. Who do we have on the line with us?
This is Alicia.
How are you, Alicia?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. What you got for us?
Well, a few things, but on the topic of whether I would be upset that a performer left after the show or during it. I remember when Whitney Houston passed away, people were upset with Bobby Brown because he stayed and performed instead of going out to be with his daughter. And he said that he stayed because he knew that was what Whitney would want. And, you know, really at that point, there was probably nothing he could have done even if he had left. So I think that I would, you know, understand even if I did pay for that ticket. You know, he just lost somebody really close to him, but you do what you feel is necessary, just like you were talking about with Vanessa Hudgens and I can't remember who else. But yeah, I think that I would be really respectful of whatever their choice was.
Alicia, I love it. Can you do me a quick favor, Alicia, and turn down the radio computer, because we are getting a feedback. But I want to thank you for that story, because I didn't know that one either. And that's a tough one, because it's not only affected him, but he's got to think, I guess, about his daughter, who you know, who's dealing with the loss. But you know, everyone's situation is different. We don't know what transpired before he hit the stage. Maybe his daughter said, "Daddy, I want you to do this and do it the best you can for in honor of our mom. You know, in honor of my mom." So we cannot judge, you know, and it's important, really, not only performers, athletes. We cannot judge even friends on how they respond to certain things. If they're not doing anything violent or negative towards other people, you got to give them their space and let them be them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and also, like you were talking about with the basketball player, I thought that was really commendable what he did, and I was also a little upset with Charles Barkley, saying he was uncomfortable with watching him cry on TV, and it's just like, well, he did just lose his sister, but he chose to play, and that was his choice. You know, just I don't know. That just kind of upset me.
I miss that. I usually watch inside the NBA, and I'm usually a fan of all that they're doing. But I missed that one. Tara, do you know?
I did hear about that, and I saw him say it, and I didn't actually. I took it differently.
How did you?
A lot of people came down hard on Barkley for that, but I took it differently.
Wait, first of all, what did Barkley say?
He said because what happened was Isaiah Thomas was out doing shoot around.
Yeah.
And there was times where he would sit on the bench and he was crying, and Bradley came and put his arm around him, and
Coach Bradley. No, Bradley the player.
The player.
Yep.
So Barkley was saying, this makes me uncomfortable to see this. And I don't think Barkley meant it makes me uncomfortable to see him crying. I think what made him uncomfortable is for him to be put into this position of feeling that he needed to play.
Okay.
That's how I took it. I don't know how he meant, but I think Barkley was saying like he shouldn't have to play. He shouldn't have to, he's not ready to play, or he shouldn't have to be in this position.
And Barkley felt like the pressure of the fans and the organization, probably not the organization,
maybe,
probably just the
maybe
fans.
Isaiah Thomas felt like, this is my team, and they felt like, this is my team. We worked all year for this. I have to be there for them. Yeah. And Barkley was just saying this is how I interpret it.
Yeah.
I think he was saying it makes me uncomfortable, and whether it was right or wrong, it's a tough situation. Yeah. So you don't know if it's being insensitive, towards the moment, but at the same time, I'm sure he was with his teammates, and like you said earlier, needs that escape. But at the same time, you never want to see someone in that position.
Right. And I usually am the person who's watching this. I usually would be chomping at the bit to contribute to this, but I missed this. I just wish if that was the case, Barkley was clear so that Alicia, and there's many more Alicias out there who interpreted it a different way, because that's a very important thing, and go ahead, Joe.
Well, he did respond the next day because everyone was making a story out of it. And he said, everybody, please stop trying to make a story out of this. I called him personally, so I don't think he meant it in a cruel way or insensitive way towards them.
Alicia, real quick, how did you interpret it again? You interpret it as
I interpret it as if sometimes people think that with sports you have to be so masculine and not show any emotion, and that's kind of how Charles Barkley is. It just sounded like he was being hypocritical of.
I got it. Yeah, I understand.
That.
So you interpret it as like he has to, if he's going to cry, he needs to get out and do his thing. But if he's going to choose to play, he needs to be a player.
Yeah, and I felt Barkley was saying it makes me uncomfortable. Like he shouldn't play. Like he doesn't need to play.
So you took it, and maybe that's your experience, but that's probably your experience being kind of in that entertaining shoes.
No, that's how I felt Barkley was saying it, because I watch Barkley all
but my
the time.
point is, Barkley, you've been in places where you're not stuck, but you're a performer. You're an entertainer. You're a public figure, to the point where you're understanding that mindset Barkley's coming from, where your average person who's never felt that kind of a pressure to have to perform. So if you don't know that, then maybe you can misinterpret it. So maybe that's where we're at.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Alicia, thanks for the phone call. That was a great phone call. Anything else you want? Yeah, let's hear it.
I have one more thing I need to, or I want to bring up to you. And I know the disclaimer and everything, but I was wondering, I think I've told you guys before that I recently lost my grandmother and aunt this past year. And my sister and I were talking the other day about how my mother has not really dealt with it, or she thinks my mom hasn't really dealt with it, and has kind of not really been in touch with her siblings. My sister thinks not enough, and I've told her that people grieve in different ways, and to just let my mom do that. But she said that while she agrees, I don't think that she is. I think she's trying to kind of like control how my mother is doing that, handling the losses, and I was wondering what you thought of that.
So, as you've been listening and being on this journey with us, everyone grieves different. Everyone, but they have to grieve. They have to get it out. I don't know your situation well enough to give an educated guess, but what I can tell you is there's an organization that I think you should look into. I don't know exactly what they provide, but they're pretty much one of the strongest organizations in helping people like you in your situation, families that have just dealt with a death. It's called ADEC, the Association for Death Education and Counseling. It's an international professional organization, and they're dedicated to promoting excellence and recognizing diversity in death education, care of the dying, grief counseling, and a lot more. So go to www.adec.org And I would start there, Alicia, and see if anything, I don't know if they have a toll-free number that can kind of guide you, and you can, they could probably spend a lot of time with you, and they're trained for this. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, and I would say if it's something that you would want your sister to go to, go with her, as opposed to saying you need to do this, or you should go to this. Go, say we need to do this. We need to go to this.
Your whole family's been rocked by the situation, and it's kind of like our situation. We lost our mother, and even though he wasn't even born, my son and our kids go through it. So it's one of those things where it's a family thing. Everyone's affected because it's like we're all connected by love. So I agree with Taj. It's something that all of you got to do, and you don't want your sister to feel like, or anyone to feel like they're further along, or they're understanding things better. So you got to come in very humble and very understanding of everyone's situation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much.
Awesome, Alicia. Thanks so much, and take care of yourself.
You too.
Thank you.
So we're going to take another phone call. Who do we have on the line?
This is Tiffany.
How are you, Tiffany?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
We are doing good.
Doing good.
You're from, wait, are you Texas?
Yes.
Yes. What part? Houston.
I'm in Beaumont.
Ah, that's close to Houston.
You ask that a lot.
I do. I told you I don't have a good memory.
It's like Groundhog's Day. We just let him do it every week.
Oh man, I told you guys I don't have a good memory, so you get to see it on display. How are you, Tiffany? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I wanted to talk about like you were saying, how you have to carry on after a loss.
Yes.
Now it's not a personal. It did. Let me see. I don't even know how to phrase it. It happened to me, but it affected my best friend really, really, really worse than I thought it would affect her. Mm-hmm. I've mentioned before that I lost my mother in 2008 to complications with diabetes and a staph infection. So prior to that, my best friend Stacy was just like my rock. Like anytime I needed her, she would be there. She always knew when I'd go visit my mother in the ICU, as soon as I'd leave out, she'd be calling my phone. How's your mom? Is she doing better? I mean, Stacy, I don't want to take too much time, but just I need to say it because she really did everything that she could. She took off work to be with me, to come see about my mom. When she'd come visit me, if my mom needed something, she'd look up and it'd be me and Stacy. You couldn't see one without the other. And I remember in the morning my mother passed. It was a Wednesday morning, and Stacy was at her house. I got the bad news, and I called her, and her mother picked up, and she was still sleeping because it was like 7:30 in the morning. And, I told her, and she didn't say anything. I know she was on the phone because I heard her gasp when I said, Stacy, mom's gone. And she had worked that afternoon. That's one thing that I'll never forget. She worked at a department store. And she said she called me after the fact that it happened. She was like, Tiff, I was at work and I was folding clothes and I was sticking clothes away. And she said, like, all at once, it hit her that my mom was gone because, she thought of my mom like her second mom. Mm-hmm. And she literally broke down in the middle of the store on the floor and had to take off and go home because she was just that bad off about it. Because, I was at home. I was bereft and trying to take care of my father. And, she's having her emotional breakdown across town at the store. And, she came to the funeral and everything. She was actually the first person here before we left the house to go to the church for the funeral. she did. I don't want to cry because she just did so much and she didn't have to do so much for me. But, she just, she kind of put her feelings aside after her little breakdown and was there for me. So. But I know I could not have gone into work myself. So
that's thank you for sharing the story because it speaks volumes to what we're about. You have to be there for each other and you have to be understanding. And it's just interesting. First of all, it sounds like your mom was a special person that Stacy had that connection with her.
Oh yeah, she was.
And I don't know what else to say besides thank you for sharing it, because a lot of people are going through that kind of situation. And as a friend, what do you do as a friend? You just got to be there for each other, and you got to be understanding, because I may be strong today and down tomorrow, and it's the job of friends and families to kind of monitor and be that strength and that support. And it sounds like you had that, so that's awesome. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany.
Wait, before I hang up.
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for mentioning Jennifer Kreitz is one of my friends online.
Oh, cool.
I know everybody.
That's cool.
And I wanted to say thank you because, TJ, you're her favorite. She's still so scared and so nervous to call in, but I wanted to thank you for her.
Cool. And what do you want to tell Jennifer?
Thank all of you.
What do you want to tell Jennifer?
Just to be strong and know she's moving in the right direction, and more power to her. And I just hope that she keeps blossoming and blossoming.
Awesome.
That's great.
We love it, Tiffany. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So Tiffany's out in Houston, Beaumont, which is near Houston.
Oh, no.
No. But the reason why I'm saying that is because the Houston Rockets are waiting for my Spurs next round in the NBA playoffs.
So that's why you got Houston in your mind.
Yeah, so I mean,
get the Spurs in the show.
Yeah, I think Tiffany's awesome, but at one point we may have to be enemies for a week or two. All right, do you guys want to take another phone call, or you want to talk a bit?
Yeah, we can take another phone call.
One more phone call?
Yeah, one more phone call.
All right. Who do we have on the line with us?
Hi, this is Ebony.
How are you, Ebony?
Hi, I'm doing fine. How about you?
We are doing good. How's your day going?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Good. What you got for us?
Well, a couple of things. About what you were talking about, if it's okay to step down from your profession while going through family loss.
Yeah.
This is personally my opinion. I believe that a person should take time to, truly grieve and deal with it, because, it's not for everybody, but, that's just how I feel. When my father passed, I work as a substitute teacher, and my mom is a PE teacher over at a middle school. When he passed, it was actually like the last couple of days of midwinter break, and we were supposed to return to school like the following week. We didn't go back, I think, until after a couple of weeks, because it really took us some time to, deal with losing my father and just to process it, really.
Right.
And also, Nelly. I saw him in concert a few years ago.
Okay.
It was back when I was in college. I can't remember which year, but he did do a concert here in Beaumont, but he had to postpone because his sister got a leukemia just, I think, a week or two before he was supposed to come down for the concert.
Okay.
So...
Now, and be honest, Ebony, how was everyone's reaction to it?
Well, it was kind of mixed. Some were upset, while some were completely understandable. I understood the situation because,
What made you different than those that were upset?
What made me different?
Than those that were upset. Why did you understand? In your opinion, have you went through a loss? What do you think it was?
No, I hadn't truly went through like a big loss like that. But I know he wanted to grieve because his sister had been a big part of his life. Mm-hmm. So,
and why do you think some people are not understanding? Why do you think some people think,
honestly, I really don't know. I mean, I'm guessing what you were saying about the professionalism, like we paid this to see you in concert, you want to see a concert. That's one thing I can think of. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But
I have a theory.
Yes, Taj, let's hear it.
I think it's because everyone grieves differently, and certain people see other stars out there doing it right out, like Celine. This is
Celine Dion.
Yeah, Celine Dion, courtesy of Emma. She
mm-hmm.
She just tweeted us that when when she lost her husband, she was open to share her pain with the public during the show, and everyone was understanding. Mm-hmm. So people see different people reacting different ways until they're like, well, Celine did it and Bobby Brown did it, so why can't you perform?
Yeah, and Vanessa Hudgens. And you're Nelly, you're the strong one, you're the rapper, you're supposed to be tougher.
Yeah, and they don't understand that everyone grieves differently and everyone gets impacted different ways or deals with it differently. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I think you're right, Taj. I think I'm hoping that I think that's the message of today's show, and I'm hoping everyone understands that no matter how big or strong or how
what the image is,
whatever warrior, whatever profession they are, everyone's going to grieve different, and we as a society have to be understanding and of that situation, of that, and of the person going through that. So we have to back off and just be supportive as a community for anyone, whether it's your favorite rapper, whether it's your favorite sports star, whether it's your boss, whether it's your surgeon. You may have a dentist appointment today and get a call that the dentist can't make it because of a family emergency, and this was the only day you could do it. You gotta take yourself and your pride out of it and be understanding.
Do we judge, like, as a society, like, in terms of what is acceptable in terms of loss, like, if you heard someone is not coming to work today because they lost a parent or a sister or brother, compared to they lost a best friend or something like that,
we do. I think we do as a society judge. I think if it's like a parent or an immediate family member, immediate family, for the most part, everyone's okay.
Yeah, but if it's cousins fly, that's the saddest.
I lost, my cat. I think people are like, that's sad, but they should be coming to work. But you don't see that's a good point, Taj, because you don't know what that cat or that dog
that could have been
or that goldfish meant to that person. Really, you don't know what that meant. So we have to find a way to reserve judgment and find a way to just let them be them. And in the end, it's going to help the whole society out because they're going to come out the better for it. So, Ebony, I know you're still with us. Is there anything else you had or anything else you want to say? Ebony? Maybe you're not still with us. Okay.
Doesn't sound like it.
I didn't hang up on her, so maybe she hung up on us.
That was my next thing. You said it before.
Hey, it was when you started talking. So you took it somewhere else. Yeah. I think this is an important topic. So it's cool because, we didn't know where the show would lead. We had a couple of ideas. Todd, I think we need to save your concept for another time because it's a strong one as well. Big, yeah. But is there anything else you guys want to add?
No, I think it's just people, we got to remember, we got to take care of each other better. We got to remember that we're human. And I think people see, stars, musicians or athletes, and they feel, they make $12 million a year, so he needs to show up and play, or whatever it might be. Sometimes it's for their own selfish purposes that they expect them to play, but if you really think about the person and what they're going through, then you'll be understanding, but like we said earlier, some people, it helps them being in front of that audience because they can get that feedback, that love, that support, while others probably just wish they didn't have to be put in that position to do it.
I love it. We're gonna take another phone call, so let's take one more. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. Who do we have on the line with us?
Hi, it's Meredith.
How you doing, Meredith?
I'm fine. I was calling it because normally I don't get serious because when I get serious, then I will break down. And I was like, okay, I'm going to call in and be serious and tell a story. Until you brought up, like, people calling in for their cat dying. And don't get me wrong, I'm an animal lover, but I kid you guys not. When I worked at Encino Hospital, a girl called in for that, and it was just odd to me. I mean, I called every single person in my family. I said, this lady called in about her cat because her cat died. But now I'm sensitive to animals. I don't want all the animal lovers to look at me bad. But
you know what, though? Meredith, this is my point, though. I think everyone grieves different. It doesn't even have to be a cat. It could be their favorite shirt. I mean, obviously, okay, maybe not
Sure,
favorite
I was
shirt.
gonna say,
All right,
you
you get my
lost
point
me
though.
on
Okay,
shirt. I was
but
like-
you understand what I'm saying? Everyone like attaches to certain things differently. So as much as I want to, judge someone for what they're valuing, I think we have to figure a way to reserve it. I really do. I'll tell you what, my dog Yabo was huge for me when my mom passed. Huge, and it was like another family member. In some ways, stronger and more important than family members. You know, I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's a
because of the connection.
But you get my point.
Yeah.
It was like a strong part of my life.
Well, it's because you don't know the relationship that person has with the animal and what you've been through and how that animal has helped you get through things
from the beginning. I mean, that was like my first child, you know? So it's like, seriously, I got Yabo at 12, 13 as a baby and had him my whole life, her whole life. Yeah. So it's like that connection. And for others, it's just the dog. It's just, you know, it's something that it's expendable. So we can't judge people, and especially fans. But I could tell you're an awesome person, Meredith, and I think your response and your first reaction would be similar to all of ours. But we have to keep ourselves in check and just respect it. You know?
Have you ever had an animal, a cat or a dog?
Well, I have a bird and I have a dog, and I will admit, we had a bird, African gray, and those, if anyone knows those birds, they have a mind basically of a kindergartner. So the bird was in our family for years, but when the bird died, I will admit, it touched me a little bit, and I cried. I cried until my mom came home and said she took him to go get cremated. Then I had to run upstairs because I burst out laughing. Like,
oh, really?
I didn't throw the birds and garbage. But no, that was in my old days, all animal lovers. I don't think like that.
And what's crazy is I don't think a bird could elicit that feeling from me. I just don't think I could cry over a bird.
You never know.
I never know. I've never been
a talking bird.
Yeah, like a talk.
You had a bird that talked to you, tell you to shut up, knew your name, that indicated the way you talk to your kids. Like one day my daughter was calling, but I really let me talk about what I really called for because I'm going to a whole nother story. The reason why I did call is Tiffany. That she really got to me. Like I said, I normally don't call. That's one of the reasons why I do listen to the show because of what it's about. Last year, or actually I was going to say 2 years ago, I was working, and actually I got news. I have 6 brothers and sisters. Well, I had 6 brothers. One just passed last year. And I tell you, within 1 year, I found out one had cancer. The other one found out he had MS. One of my brothers had MS. One had cancer. My sister lost her husband. And then my mom found out she had stage 4 cancer. This all happened within like 3 months. Then last year, at the end of my year to graduate from school, I find out that my brother was passing. So here I am taking care of my mom, 2 girls, and final year of college. And my brother died the same week of finals. And so I still went and took my final exam because I had to do it, but yet I felt the responsibility because more of it, I was so worried about my mom because she's going through chemo and how it's affecting her. So like you were saying, things do affect people a certain way. Some people would have said, well, couldn't you call your professor and reschedule it? I just didn't do it, which I probably should have because I ended up failing a test and had to retake it. But I think you just handle things a different way. I mean, to this point, still taking care of my mom, I don't think I've actually broken down yet because I'm trying to be strong for her, my daughters, and the rest of my brothers and sisters since she depends on me. But it do get hard. But that's, like I said, that's why I listen to you guys because I've never heard a show like this that deal with grief and me actually being in, you know, I told you I substitute, but I'm also, my field is counseling, but it's I don't know. Some of these shows you have, it's hard. And like I said, when I heard Tiffany and how she was with her mother, it just brought back exactly what I'm doing right now. And I just really wanted to thank you guys because this is a good show for people to express their feelings, because I don't think I've ever really just said anything about the situation, because I try to hold it all in. So
I understand.
I want to thank you guys.
Well, first of all, thank you, Meredith, for listening, supporting, and contributing. You know, the show is awesome for us, but and it's especially great when we hear listeners say what it's doing for them. But it takes the team to do it, and you guys are all part of the team. So thank you.
Well, thank you too.
Yeah, Taj, I'm going to let you go now, Meredith, because we got to close it soon. But thank you so much, and have an amazing week.
you.
Okay.
Yes.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Taj, real quick, because this is an important thing. I think a lot of people, and Terrell was opposite of you, where Terrell was, I felt, maybe not, and I feel like I'm kind of in between. You felt that way, like Meredith felt, where you have to kind of hold it all together. Have you still been in that mindset? Or do you go through your times where you try to let it go? And if so, how do you go about doing that?
Honestly, this show has been very helpful to me, because I don't talk about it. I only talk about it on the show. I don't talk about it to my friends or, to Tiana or whatever. It's just on the show I talk about it, so it's therapeutic to me.
Yeah. As
well as, Meredith said it's therapeutic to her. But it's the same, because, yeah, you feel like you have to be the rock, in a way, in terms of strong for everyone. And I haven't let go of that. It's like a slow process of letting go of that.
You think you ever will?
I don't know. What I'm more scared of is certain people are like, well, it's going to catch up to you. I hear that a lot. Well, you have to let it go, because it will catch up to you. But knock on wood, it hasn't so far. But I think I've slowly, by doing the show, let go.
It's like a balloon.
Deflating it.
Deflating it. Like if you don't let air out, eventually you're going to burst.
Yeah.
So it's like, whether it's the smallest hole or what, but you got to slowly let it out.
Yeah.
And you feel this show kind of helps you with that.
I think that, and just doing things in Mom's memory and doing things to make her proud has helped me. So,
and I agree with you, because I was, I'm laughing because I oftentimes say these words when I was in the shower. I was thinking about this, but I feel like I take long showers and I think a lot. But I was thinking about how this show has helped me too. Because it's like 1 hour I dedicate, a little more, but I dedicate 1 hour a week to dealing with loss and grief and how to learn from it and how to overcome and really how to navigate it. And see, there's something I learned. But it's a great, I don't think it comes natural for people who want to hear about loss and talk about loss, but it's something that really helps, and us doing the show, we're not forced to, but we have this schedule that kind of forces us to be here to do it. But in the end, it's been so great for us, I think. And I'm hoping it's the same kind of thing with the listeners, where if they're tuning in week after week, which a lot of them are, they're getting that same type of benefit of learning and talking about it. It's kind of like free therapy in a sense,
Yeah.
So I think it's great, and I'm very proud of what we're doing and where we've gotten.
Yeah.
One couple more things I want to say. Number one is a quote on grief and loss that I found and that I thought was very strong. You guys know me, I'm big on quotes. This one's by Vicki Harris. It is, grief is like the ocean. Grief is like the ocean. It comes on waves, ebbing and flowing. Sometimes the water is calm, and sometimes it is overwhelming. All we can do is learn to swim. It's pretty cool, right?
I like that.
And I think it kind of ties to our topic for the day, where we don't know when it's going to hit. We don't know how it's going to hit. All we could do is swim, and we can let and support each other swim however it is they need to swim. Because that's really what it is. We're going on 20-something years, right, Terrell, since we lost Mom. And it's still something we deal with, but we're swimming, and that's all we're trying to do, is help others learn that they have to swim. All right, guys, I think that's it. I'm going to do the disclaimer since we didn't do it earlier. We are not licensed therapists. We're just ordinary people who have experienced loss in our lives. We've been impacted by it, and we've learned from it. And that's what we try to do on the show, is share our wisdom, our experiences to help you navigate it. But if you need professional help, professional guidance, please seek it. Don't just depend on us. I think that's it. Was there anything else either one of you guys wanted to say?
I had a Twitter correction. It was Toria that said the Celine Dion.
Oh, okay.
Someone retweeted it or whatever, and I said,
yeah.
No, it's just the mobile.
Oh, yes. So, and then if you liked what you heard, you can obviously visit us at www.ddjf.org, or you could text the letters DDJF to 41444 and help us by donating. It could be as little as $1, literally $1, $5, whatever you can do. You can set it up on as a one-time thing or as recurring, where you're donating $1 a month. Anything helps us continue this process and continue providing this show. So that's pretty much it, people. We just wanted to thank you. We hope it was a great show. We hope you learned something, and I guess we will see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Perfect.
Right?
All right.
All right, cool. Take care, you guys. Thank you for listening to The Power of Love. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Support for our Power of Love radio show comes from a variety of generous donors, including supporters from institutions, individuals, and corporations through the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation. DDJF is a nonprofit 501c3 organization.